Chapter 3698. Even Fu Hongya stopped what he was doing. He raised his head to look at the sky with a strange expression in his eyes. Killer bees? And there are so many of them. What's going on? Are these killer bees trying to start a war with the humans? At this moment, a killer bee elder in the sky said coldly, "Thunder God City, despicable and shameless. You want to use poison to harm our king. Today we will fight you to the death. Everyone listen to my order and attack the people of Thunder God City." As the cold voice fell, the eyes of the killer Saint Bees turned red. As if they had gone mad, they turned into streams of golden light and began to attack. The people of Thunder God City below screamed. Many of them were pierced and some of them were poisoned. They were in a miserable state. The scene was like hell on earth. When the people in the distance saw this scene, they went crazy. God, this is too unbelievable. These killer bees are really attacking Thunder God City. Fu Hongya was stunned. What's going on? At this moment he received a voice transmission. "Senior brother Hongya, I'm Lin Wudi. These killer bees are summoned by me. Hurry, let's go. I can't control the killer bee king for too long." The killer bee king was stunned. Then a smile appeared on his face. Lin Wudi. So it's him. He understood. With a long roar, he rushed through the crowd and tore the void apart. He flew down the mountain. The people of Wuxia City were waiting for him at the foot of the mountain. At the same time, Lin Xian continued to control the Killer Bee King and gave out orders. The war between the Killer Bees and Thunder God City began. The sages of Thunder God City were all attacked. Many of them were stung until their heads were full of bumps. These were not ordinary bees. Every one of them could pierce through their bodies. Even if they didn't die, they would be seriously injured. Moreover, their foundation might be damaged. Of course, there were also many killer bees that died. In short, both sides were in a frenzy. In the end, the people of Thunder God City couldn't hold on anymore. At first, they wanted to call for more reinforcements to help them. However, they realized that although the reinforcements had arrived, they had angered the killer bees. Therefore, they could only change their strategy. Run used the teleportation array to leave. Kakaka. These people took the teleportation array and wanted to leave. But at this moment, the teleportation array let out a cracking sound as cracks appeared. There was a missing material in the formation and there was a gap. Who was it? Who dares to destroy our array formation? These people were in despair. Without the array formation, they would not be able to teleport away. What would be waiting for them next? This was the crazy revenge of killing the Saint Wasp. They didn't dare to imagine the consequences. In their panic, they saw a little white monkey holding a corner of the array formation and traversing through the void. Damned Hosey. Give me back my formation. Motherfucker, I won't rest until you die. I swear that from now on, I will only eat monkey meat. These people screamed crazily, but there was nothing they could do. The little white monkey was too fast and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Without the formation, there was no way to teleport. Their fates would be extremely miserable. Sure enough, these people from the Thunder God City instantly received a counterattack. Since there was no way out, the eyes of these people from the Thunder God City had turned red from the killing. Each and every one of them were roaring as if they had gone crazy. Kill. They clashed with the killer Saint Bees. After another half a day, Lin Xian finally couldn't control it anymore. He felt that the soul of the Wasp King was recovering. He gradually couldn't suppress it inside. He knew that it was time to leave. Lin Xian's soul rose into the sky and left the Wasp King's body. Then he flew down the mountain. His speed was extremely fast. In almost an instant he arrived at the foot of the mountain. At the foot of the mountain, those people from Wuxia City were anxiously waiting. Especially Xin Jingqiu, she was very worried about Lin Xian's safety. Finally, she saw Lin Xian's soul flying back. She immediately heaved a sigh of relief. Big brother Lin here. She waved her hand to greet him. Lin Xian entered the black earth and fused his soul with his body. In the next moment he walked out. Let's go, this is not the place to talk. After my soul leaves, the Wasp King's soul will soon awaken. At that time he will definitely be exposed. Lin Xian called a group of people and quickly left. They returned to Wuxia City's stronghold. But sure enough, not long after they arrived, an earth-shattering roar came from the Thunder God Mountain. A terrifying aura spread throughout the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Damn it, what's going on? Everyone was terrified. The Wasp King woke up. But when he woke up, he was so angry that he vomited blood. Shouldn't he be in the hive absorbing pollen to cultivate? Why did he come to the Thunder God Mountain? And there was a huge battle? His descendants and subordinates beside him. Why did so many of them die? Stop right there. The Wasp King kept roaring. The people from the Saint Wasp King's side quickly stopped and instantly gathered beside the Wasp King. On the other side, the people from Thunder God City also stopped. Their faces were cold and everyone was injured. They also gathered together and confronted the Wasp King. You killed the Saint Wasp King. Do you really want to fight to the death with our Thunder God City? Don't forget, our Thunder God City is the sacred city. If you provoke us and we send out a super saint, you won't be able to bear it. Do you think we're afraid of you? This is the Eastern Spirit Staircase, our territory. Those Saint Wasp Kings are also full of killing intent. The Wasp King didn't say anything. He really couldn't understand what was going on. Suddenly, he remembered that his soul had fallen into a deep sleep. Moreover, it was when he was eating the pollen. Damn it, he was ambushed by someone. Moreover, he was tricked. This made him roar in his heart. Who was it? Who was using him? He was extremely angry. This time, they had also suffered heavy losses in attacking the Thunder God Mountain. There were many corpses on the ground. He wanted to find the culprit like crazy and tear him into pieces. But when he thought of the possibility that there was another sacred city behind this, he hesitated. If they were to fight again at this time, their losses would be even greater. At that time they would anger the two sacred cities. Even if they were heaven and earth variants and were powerful and fierce, they couldn't bear such consequences. Therefore he could only suffer this loss. Moreover, he couldn't tell anyone. Otherwise, as a king, it would be shameful for him to be ambushed by someone else. This matter ends here. Both sides can't fight anymore. The Wasp King gave the order and left with the Saint Wasp Kings. Those people from the Thunder God City were so angry that they vomited blood. What the fuck? Ridiculous. They didn't provoke this group of Saint Wasp Kings at all. But such a big battle happened for no reason. Could it be that it was Wuxia City's ghost? It was very possible. Damn it, when did this group of Saint Wasp Kings ally with Wuxia City? When they thought of Wuxia City, these people from the Thunder God City gnashed their teeth in anger. Their losses this time were really too heavy. A single Fu Hongya was enough to make them badly battered. On top of that, the attack from the Saint Wasp Kings really made them suffer heavy losses. Damn it, this matter can't be let go like this. Repair the array formation. We will definitely take revenge for this. These people's eyes were red as they started to repair the formation. Chapter 3699. On the other side, laughter could be heard from Wuxia Mountain. That's great. The people from Peerless City were incomparably excited. Although they also suffered losses this time compared to Lei Xinqing, it was simply not worth mentioning. Of course, it was all thanks to two people. One of them was Fu Hongya. If it wasn't for him, they would have been seriously injured. The other was Lin Xian. If it wasn't for Lin Xian, the situation would have been worse. Junior brother, thank you so much. Fu Hongya smiled as well. He was very satisfied with this junior brother of his. Lin Xian smiled. Senior brother, you're too polite. I came here to join Wuxia City. In the future, I'll be in the same sect as everyone. Oh right, we haven't completed the third mission yet. Suddenly, Lin Xian thought of something. Shen Jingqiu said too. Yeah, the array is broken. Can we still go back? Don't worry, we've been repairing the array. It'll be done soon. Even if we can't fix it, we can testify that you two came here first. Wuxia City's array was discovered in time. Therefore it was easier to fix it. It was done in a day. Thunder God City might have to put in some effort. What Whitey stole was the core of the array. It wouldn't be easy to fix it. Let's go. Fu Hongya stood on the array. He called out to Lin Xian and Shen Jingqiu. The three of them took the array and left. When they appeared, they were already back in Wuxia City. Senior brother Fu, how was it? In Wuxia City, the martial artists from Wuxia City were also very anxious. Previously, they had received a call for help from Dongling Mountain. Later, they realized that they couldn't teleport. They thought that the array there was broken. They were very anxious. Fortunately, Fu Hongya came back at this time. The matter has been resolved. Fu Hongya said, all right, these two fellows are here for the third mission. Because of some matters in our stronghold, they should have arrived 5 days ago. Record this down. I can bear witness to this. Yes, senior brother, we understand. The disciples of Wuxia City quickly recorded it. At the same time they said, congratulations, you have successfully passed the third stage. Go and rest first. I'll make the announcement after the third stage is over. However, I am here to congratulate the two of you on passing the test and becoming disciples of our Wuxia City. Although the third test was determined based on time, there was still a time limit. That would be 1 month. If they couldn't come out after a month, they would be eliminated. At that time they would go in and bring those people back safely. Thank you, senior brother. Lin Xian and Shen Jingqiu cupped their fists. and then they went to rest in a nearby palace. The two of them sat down and began to recover. In the following days the two of them were very relaxed. From the time the two of them entered the third stage until they came out, it took a total of 15 days, which was half a month's time. Actually, the two of them could have come out in 10 days, but because of the previous battle, they were delayed for 5 days. Even so, he was still the first to come out. Of course, Shen Jingqiu knew that it was because of Lin Xian's help. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to come out so quickly. Moreover, Lin Xian was her husband. She naturally wanted to help Lin Xian become the first. After another 5 days, which was the 20th day, another figure appeared. The person who appeared was Shui Tianqin. After he came out, he realized that there was no one around and he was very excited. That's great. Could it be that he was the first? Because he didn't see Di Ling, nor did he see Lin Xian. After him it was Shi Bufan and Wang Xiaofeng. They didn't take long to come out, they all came out within a day. Shi Bufan saw that Shui Tianqin came out before him and he frowned. Damn it, did this person surpass him? This made him a little unhappy. Wang Xiaofeng was very excited because she liked Shui Tianqin very much. She looked around and saw that it was only Shui Tianqin. She exclaimed, "Could it be that you are the first?" "I don't know. But when I came I didn't see anyone else." Shui Tianqin's voice was trembling. Because he was too excited. If he could become the first in the third round, it would be an unparalleled glory. Really? Wang Xiaofeng was also very happy. Shi Bufan frowned. It shouldn't be. Where's Di Ling? Where's Lin Wudi? Did they not appear? To be honest, these two people were stronger than them. Shui Tianqin also said that maybe the two of them met inside and had a big battle. Indeed, Di Ling had always been hostile towards Lin Xian. They knew this, and there was also Yu Qinya. Perhaps a world-shaking battle had broken out, and both sides had been injured. Therefore the speed of collecting the East Spirit Stones slowed down. If that was really the case, then they were really lucky. You guys come with me to rest. With Wu Shuangqing leading the way. Shui Tianqin and the others were very excited. They came to a palace nearby. When they opened the door and entered the palace they were stunned. Because they saw two people inside. They were very surprised to see Lin Xian and Shen Jingqiu. Shui Tianqin's face instantly turned ugly. He thought he was the first, but he didn't expect it to be so. Because someone obviously came earlier than them, and it seemed like it wasn't just 1 or 2 days earlier. Lin Wudi was here, then would Di Ling be far away? He looked around. But he found that there was only Lin Xian and Shen Jingqiu in the palace. There was no one else. Just the two of you? Wang Xiaofeng also asked in disbelief. Shen Jingqiu nodded. Yes, it's just the two of us. Brother Lin was the first to arrive. Hearing this, Wang Xiaofeng and the other two sucked in a breath of cold air. Lin Wudi was the first again? It was unbelievable. It seemed like Shen Jingqiu was the second. Then what about Di Ling? Where was Di Ling? Could it be that he hasn't come out yet? They couldn't believe it. Lin Xian said, I don't know where that guy is. Anyway, I haven't seen him yet. It was unbelievable. Shui Tianqin and the others were stunned. Di Ling didn't come out again and he came after them. Could it be that there was an accident inside? They didn't know. Wang Xiaofeng, Shi Bufan and the others were shocked. Shui Tianqin smiled bitterly. But thinking about it, third place wasn't bad. Because under normal circumstances, if Di Ling and Gue Li both participated, he might not be able to get third place. But unexpectedly, Di Ling didn't come out this time, and Gue Li didn't participate at all. Of course, there was Lin Xian and Shen Jingqiu, these two dark horses. Especially Lin Wudi, he was first in 2 rounds. It seemed that he was also first in the 3rd round. First in 3 rounds, then he would definitely be first in the final round. He would be their chief disciple in the future. Chapter 3700. Shui Tianqin and Shi Bufan couldn't believe it. All this time they had thought that Di Ling would become the chief disciple, or if there was an accident, it would be ghostly. But they didn't expect it to be neither of them. It was a newcomer who had just risen. As a woman, Wang Xiaofeng was more meticulous. She knew that it had become a reality and it couldn't be changed. So she came to Shui Tianqin and said, Shui, we have to change our attitude. We will be disciples of Wushuang City in the future. Then Lin Wudi will be the head disciple. We have to have a good relationship with him. At least we can't be enemies with him. Shui Tianqin nodded. Don't worry, Sister Feng, I know. He wasn't a fool. Besides, Lin Wudi had won first place with his strength. He didn't dare to have any hostility. Shi Bufan was the same. They sat down cross-legged and began to recover. In the following days, more and more people came. More and more people came, but they still couldn't see Di Ling's figure. They couldn't believe it. Did something really happen to Di Ling inside? And there was another person who didn't come out. That was Wuxia. Wuxia was also one of the 8 great prodigies. He was very strong and had recently broken through. Di Ling and Di Ling didn't come out. Could it be? They looked at Lin Wudi. Was there a battle between them? Lin Wudi won? Or was he attacked by a demon overlord inside? Of the 2 outcomes, they were more inclined towards the second one, because they couldn't believe that Lin Wudi could resist the joint attack of Di Ling and Wuxia. Even with Xin Jingqiu, it would be a draw at most. But now Di Ling and Wuxia's life and death were unknown. The others also noticed it and started discussing among themselves. Many of them looked at Lin Xian with fear in their eyes. Finally, a month's time was up. More than 3,000 people entered, but less than 500 people successfully passed. The others were all eliminated and were listed as honorary disciples. There were also some who felt their scalps go numb. Di Ling and Wuxia didn't come out? God, it was too unbelievable. They didn't even have honorary disciples. They were directly eliminated. Everyone was in an uproar. They now knew that Di Ling and Wuxia were only able to enter because they received an additional condition, which was that if they succeeded, they could become disciples of the holy city. Once they failed, they would be eliminated and disqualified. It could be said that this was a great risk. However, no one believed that Di Ling and Wuxia would fail. Even if he couldn't get first place, it would be too easy for him to pass the 3rd stage. But now, their minds were in a daze. These 2 people had actually been directly eliminated. Did this have anything to do with Lin Wudi? They didn't really know. In the following time, the people from Wushuang City began to teleport into the East Spirit World to search for those people. Everyone came back one after another. When they found out that they had been eliminated, they were all dejected. 3 days later, Di Ling returned. When everyone saw the Imperial Mausoleum, they couldn't believe it. At this moment, Di Ling's complexion was deathly pale. There was blood on his body and his clothes were tattered. It was clear that he was seriously injured. What was going on? Why was the Imperial Mausoleum in such a sorry state? What exactly happened? They didn't expect that such a powerful Di Ling would be in such a sorry state. In Water Sky City, Wang Xiaofeng, Shi Bufan, and the other Sky Prides were even more shocked. Indeed, something had happened inside. But what was it? Was he being chased by beasts? Previously, they thought that it was because of Lin Wudi, but Lin Wudi had already come out. Therefore, it should be because of beasts. At this thought, they heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that Di Ling was unlucky to have met a powerful monster sage. Xin Jingqiu was also suspicious. However, Lin Xian revealed a cold smile. Others didn't know, but he naturally knew. This wasn't because of beasts but because of Li Hongxiu. Back then, Di Ling didn't know what was good for him. He sneaked up on him and Li Hongxiu. Therefore, Li Hongxiu chased after him. Who was Li Hongxiu? She was able to leave calmly in front of the 3 grand demons and obtain the heavenly treasure. Her strength was definitely beyond expectations. She chased after Di Ling. How could Di Ling have a good time? Di Ling was probably lucky that he was still alive. After Di Ling came out, his face was gloomy. He looked around the hall and soon fixed his eyes on Lin Xian. The murderous aura on his body was about to explode. Everyone's scalp went numb. Lin Xian sneered. Di Ling no longer had the ability to compete with him. Di Ling had been eliminated. As for him, he was the first in 3 rounds and would become the 3rd generation's chief disciple. The difference in status between the 2 was like a chasm between heaven and earth. If Di Ling dared to attack, Wushuang City wouldn't agree. Sure enough, when the Wushuang City's martial artists felt the murderous aura of hostility towards Lin Xian, their faces darkened. One of them said coldly, "Di Ling, know your place. You are now a loser. Hurry up and recover. We will send you away when the time comes." These people's voices were cold. A loser, no matter how dazzling and talented he was in the past, they still wouldn't take him to heart. Damn it. Di Ling gritted his teeth. These people dared to treat him like this. He swore that he would make these people regret it. He retracted his gaze from Lin Xian. He knew that now wasn't the time to take action. However, he swore that one day he would personally trample on Di Ling and make him suffer a fate worse than death. After finding a place, Di Ling began to recover. More and more people were brought back. There were also some people who didn't return. It seemed like these people wouldn't be able to come back. Currently, most of them were found. Some of them were missing. It seemed like they had met with an accident. A Wushuang City's martial artist said in a deep voice, "You can start to recover now. 3 days later I will send you away." As for those who haven't returned, our martial artists in Eastern Spirit Mountain will continue to investigate. What? The remaining people had met with an accident? Everyone was in an uproar. Shui Tiancheng and the others also took a deep breath. What about Yu Qinya? Yu Qinya hadn't returned either. Could it be that he had met with an accident? If that was really the case, then it was truly earth-shattering news. Yu Qinya was one of the 8 great geniuses and the young master of the Rain clan. His identity and status were extraordinary. The fact that he had been eliminated was already shocking enough. Now that he was missing, wouldn't it be even more shocking? The Rain clan probably couldn't take it and would go berserk. Many people present looked at Lin Xian. Because Yu Qinya and Lin Xian were enemies, some people even looked at Di Ling wanting to ask if he knew the whereabouts of Yu Qinya. However, whether it was Di Ling or Lin Xian, they weren't to be trifled with. They didn't dare to ask. Some people also remembered that there was a piece of news in the Eastern Spirit world about the despicable and shameless Yu Qinya. They didn't know what had happened to Yu Qinya. Chapter 3701. Some people guessed that he probably encountered a powerful demon saint and was killed directly. Only Lin Xian knew that the other party couldn't have come back because he killed him with his own hands. Of course, if he didn't say it, no one would know. 3 days passed slowly. At this moment, the final day had finally arrived. In the starry sky, the huge projection of the 9 heavens was still there, emitting a terrifying aura. There were many martial artists around. They were all waiting patiently at this moment. It should be about time. Yes. I've already received news that the final result will be out in a day or 2. These people were even more excited. Among them, many people had already begun to congratulate in advance. Spirit Sealing Star was crowded with people and carriages. Several elders of Spirit Sealing Star were surrounded in the center. Around them were the elders of other families or families. Congratulations, Taoist friends, your Di Ling will definitely get first place this time. The chief disciple will definitely be yours. I hope that Taoist friends will help us in the future. I just got a piece of divine metal here. I hope that Taoist friends won't refuse. I have an ancient book here that records a powerful ability. I hope that Taoist friends won't dislike it. These people had already begun to give gifts. If they could get on the good side of Spirit Sealing Star at this time, they would be able to soar in the future. These elders of Spirit Sealing Star were flushed with joy and laughed loudly. Well said, well said. As for the gifts, they accepted all of them. Because they were full of confidence. Di Ling would definitely get first place. Of course, it wasn't just them. For example, there were some powerful people around Demon's heart. After all, the representative of Demon this time was Ghostly. Even if he wasn't as good as Di Ling, he was definitely the second best. Regarding this, the people of Demon Star were also full of confidence. There was another place, and that was the Rain clan. At this moment, the Rain clan was very high profile. Our young master Qinya will definitely be able to enter the top 5. That was for sure. If he was lucky, he might even be able to enter the top 3. Everyone also saw Yu Qinya's performance. Although he was suppressed by others previously, his potential was unparalleled. For a time, many people also gathered on the Rain clan's side. I have an ancient book here. I hope that Taoist friends won't dislike it. This is my granddaughter. I'll give her to young master Qinya as a concubine. She's very good at serving people. Everyone began to give him treasures, and some even gave him women. The elders of the Rain clan were also extremely excited. Did they see that? This was the strength of their Rain clan. Apart from the Spirit Sealing Star, the Fiend Star, and a few other powerful forces, who else would dare to contend against the Rain clan? Don't worry, my Rain clan will definitely remember you. The elders of the Rain clan laughed heartily. He collected all the gifts. In addition, other families such as the Shui family, Shi Bufan's family, and Wang Xiaofeng's family, all received congratulatory gifts. The astrals were the same. At this moment, quite a few people from the spirit race had come as well. Naturally, there were also countless people who came to congratulate him. After all, Shin Jingqiu had gotten second place in the first round. Presumably, the last 2 stages would also be very dazzling. The people of the spirit tribe were also very happy. If their holy maiden could enter Wushuang City, it would be a great help to the spirit tribe. With Qiuer's talent, she would definitely be able to enter the top 5. She might even be able to enter the top 3. Yes, with her result in the first round, she might even be able to compete for the position of the chief disciple. The elders of the spirit tribe were beaming with joy. However, the others such as Ling Lianhua and the others were extremely jealous. Damn it, if the other party successfully entered the holy city and obtained a top ranking, then from then on, they would be completely trampled under the other party's feet. They would never be able to make a comeback. Of course, they didn't dare to go against the other party now. Ling Lianhua's father's expression was also cold. At this moment, he suddenly said that the holy maiden had successfully entered the holy city and had a heavenly talent. Her future husband must be chosen properly. Yes, didn't the rumors say that she had a husband before? I don't think that's true. Who is that kid? How could he be worthy of our holy maiden? When this topic was brought up, many people agreed. They also felt that a person from the first astral realm was worthy of the holy maiden. However, there were also some people who frowned. They couldn't say that. That Lin Wudi couldn't be underestimated. Don't forget that he obtained first place in the first round and even broke the record. This also attracted the support of many people. They could see that Lin Wudi's talent was extremely good. His future achievements were limitless. Ling Lianhua's father sneered. So what? It's just the first round, there are many restrictions. Do you think that Di Ling will let him go in the second and third round? Comparing that kid and Di Ling, who's stronger and who's weaker, don't you know? He's indeed a genius, but what if he's crippled by Di Ling? Once these words were spoken, many elders became silent. Indeed, although Lin Wudi showed that he was a peerless genius, his current strength might not be strong. It was impossible for him to be stronger than Di Ling. If Di Ling were to make a move, there was a possibility that the other party would be defeated or even seriously injured. Seeing that everyone was silent, Ling Lianhua's father sneered. That's why that kid doesn't have any hope. He might even be eliminated. Don't forget that he not only provoked Di Ling, he also provoked the Rain clan. A smart person wouldn't provoke so many terrifying clans at the same time. Once these words were spoken, even those elders who had always supported Jingqiu nodded. That's right, with Qiuer's status and talent, she must marry the chief disciple. That's right, it's best if she can marry the second-generation disciple. For example, Fu Hongye. In this way, our spirit clan will definitely be worry-free for 10,000 years. Everyone, don't be so short-sighted. Not only Wushuang City, but holy cities can also form marriage alliances. For example, marrying peerless geniuses from other holy cities. In short, we have to make a good choice for the saintess. These people discussed fervently. At this moment, the old ancestor of the spirit clan said that this matter shouldn't be made public. Everything should wait until the final result is out. After all, he was an old fox who had lived for countless years. He had thought of all possibilities and naturally wouldn't say anything in advance. The others actually wanted to hug Lin Xian's thigh because Lin Xian's performance in the first round was indeed extraordinary. However, after looking around, they realized that Lin Xian seemed to be alone. He didn't belong to any force or sect. Hence, everyone could only give up. Such a genius wouldn't be able to achieve great things without a solid foundation and a solid backing. Look, there seems to be movement above the 9 levels of heaven. Someone exclaimed and countless gazes looked over. In the next moment they saw a huge array flickering in the sky. It was so bright that they couldn't open their eyes. Thank you for your monthly votes. Recommendation votes? Thanking users for their companionship is the longest confession. I'll always reward with you. Users scattered all over the ground. Wounded reward. User, sunset gift. User Mu reward. User Whirlwind reward. User Bai reward. User monthly reward. User, sunset gift. User, sunset gift. User Baby May reward. User, sunset gift. User Guangdao reward. User I'm like this. Are you marrying me or not? User Chuan reward. User Wanxiang reward. User Sursu reward. Chapter 3702. After a long time the light disappeared. Soon everyone saw it. They came out. They came out. That's right, they saw the disciples who were taking the test again as well as the people from Peerless City. They knew that the test was over. The final results were out. That was Water Sky City, right? So handsome. Countless people screamed. There was also Shi Bufan. He was too heroic. Another group of people cried out in surprise. That was Jingqiu, the holy maiden of the spirit race. Her beauty was unparalleled. Countless male martial artists screamed. To be able to marry such a person, their lives were worth it. Indeed, the current Jingqiu was like a fairy, making countless people look up to her. Over at the Rain clan's side, their faces were gloomy. One of them even snorted coldly. This person's figure was graceful, but she wore a veil, so her face could not be seen. Actually, she was Wuxia. It was just that because of the previous matter, she did not have the face to appear in front of everyone. Therefore she could only bring a veil over. Originally she was also a proud daughter of heaven, the pearl of the second star realm. Her limelight was not inferior to Shinjinchio's at all. But now she could only cover her face and stand here unknown. As for the other party, he was once again dazzling, making countless people chase after him. This disparity was really too great. It made her unable to accept it at all. Don't worry, Shurchia. Let them be arrogant for a while. After Chinya comes out, it will be our Rain clan's turn to shine. Lin Wudi and Shinjinchio cannot be compared to us at all. Those Rain clan elders were full of confidence. The other party was powerful, but so what? Their Yu Chinya was even more dazzling. Thinking of this, these Rain clan elders began to search. They wanted to find their young master Chinya. But after looking around, their expressions were stunned. What was going on? There was no young master Chinya? How was this possible? They carefully searched 3 times and discovered that there was no young master. Yushurchia's body trembled. Could it be that her brother failed? She could not accept this matter. The elders of the Rain clan were similarly unable to accept this. Even the surrounding families and sects that were sending gifts and the martial artists that wanted to hug Qin Yu's thigh were all stunned. What was going on? It couldn't be a mistake, right? How was this possible? The Rain clan elders hurriedly denied. Apart from our young master Chinya, Di Ling and Ghostly did not come out. Could it be that you also suspect the Imperial Mausoleum? Everyone looked around and found that indeed, they didn't see Di Ling and Ghostly. Thinking of this, they heaved a sigh of relief. Di Ling, that was absolutely impossible. Since Di Ling didn't appear, it meant that Yu Chinya and Di Ling were together. Perhaps he was an even more core disciple. It was possible that he would be chosen as the disciple of the Sage King. When these words were spoken, the crowd went into an uproar. The eyes of the Rain clan's elders once again erupted with astonishing radiance. There was indeed such a possibility. Ah! They raised their heads and laughed. If they, Yu Chinya, became the Saint King's disciple, they wouldn't be able to compete with the holy maiden of the spirit race. They could easily trample the others under their feet. At the thought of this, the martial artists from the surrounding clans who were trying to cozy up to him became even more excited. This was a golden thigh and they had to hold onto it tightly. On the other side, the people from the Fiend Star and the Spirit Sealing Star were the same. They didn't see Ghostly or D Mausoleum. However, they also guessed that he might be directly accepted as a disciple of the Sage King. They were extremely excited. In a short period of time, these 3 great powers caused countless people to raise their eyebrows and go crazy over them. Hurry up and hug the thighs of the 3 great clans. They all rushed over. The people from the spirit race frowned. It couldn't be. Could it be that he was really accepted as a disciple of the Sage King? Damn it, how could they be so lucky? There was no other way. D Mausoleum and Guili were too talented. They were the top 2 of the 8 great geniuses. But what did this Yu Chinya have? Damn it, could it be that he's more powerful than our holy maiden? These people were so angry that they gritted their teeth. They couldn't accept this at all. At this time, the old ancestor of the spirit race said, "What are you all panicking for? Calm down and wait for the results to be announced." Although he said that, he was also nervous in his heart. If someone really became the disciple of the Sage King, their identity would be too dazzling. They would be able to compete with everyone else. All right, silence. At this time, an elder from Wushuang City came out and said loudly. His voice spread out in all directions. Everyone quieted down. Countless gazes looked up at the sky, waiting. After 3 rounds of examination, the final results were out. Now it was time to announce it. A total of 498 people passed the examination and became the disciples of Wushuang City. They will be the 3rd generation of disciples of Wushuang City. The rest will temporarily be in-name disciples. Once they pass the examination, they will become official disciples. Now I will announce the official disciples. As he said that, the names were read out one by one, resounding through the sky. For those whose names were read out, a person in the sky stood out and looked around. Below, endless cheers and sounds of envy erupted. Did you see that, my son? That's my son. A middle-aged man roared to the sky, tears flowing down his face. The surrounding people were envious. Congratulations, Patriarch Hai. Yes, the Hai family will soar into the sky from now on. The others were incomparably envious. Haha, my grandson is really good. Someone laughed loudly. Even though the first rankings were the last, so what? They were already disciples of the Holy City. Once they stepped into the Holy City, their identities would change dramatically. Therefore, how could these people not be happy? Moreover, it was truly a case of a man ascending to the heavens. As long as someone entered the Holy City, their family would immediately be looked upon highly. Countless forces and cultivators would want to follow them and hug their thighs. For a moment, everyone was envious. Damn it, why hasn't it been my grandson's turn yet? The prodigies of our family will definitely be able to enter. These people gritted their teeth and clenched their fists, listening carefully. In the sky, one figure after another stood out. Those families and sects cheered when they appeared. Those whose names did not appear were waiting. They knew that there was still hope. However, when more than 400 names were read out, many of them were in despair. Their names were already so close to the front. Could their prodigies get it? They were very doubtful. In other words, were they eliminated? For a moment, sighs could be heard. Many people cried in despair. Of course, there were also some families who took a deep breath. They were very confident in their prodigies. Perhaps they would be able to enter successfully and even get a higher ranking. Of course, most of them were onlookers. These people were not assessed by their families, so they were here to watch the show. Hurry up and announce who the first few names are. Chapter 3703. Yes, I think it must be Di Ling. It might be Gui Li. Didn't they all become disciples of the Sage King? These people were too excited. Amongst them, the elders from the Rain Clan, the Demon Star, and the Wind Spirit Star all looked as if victory was within their grasp. What was there to panic about? They would definitely be the last ones to appear. At this moment, the elder from Wuxia City stood up once again and said in a clear voice. Next, it was the core disciples' turn. There were a total of 72 core disciples and the quota was fixed. However, only 49 people had successfully passed the test and become core disciples. Next up was the core disciples' turn. Although they were all disciples, core disciples and ordinary disciples were completely different. It was like the difference between heaven and earth. Core disciples were the geniuses that Peerless City would focus on nurturing in the future. Any family that had someone become a core disciple would definitely be extremely excited, and the scene would be even more spectacular than before. 7th place Jianghu. A loud voice rang out as Jianghu walked out with a glimmer in his eyes. Although it was only 7th place, he was already very satisfied. Before this, he had only been a chapter. Previously, he had already instigated discord, and obtained the agreement of many family elders. That was, Lin Xian didn't have the right to be with Xin Jingqiu. As long as he continued to make a fuss about this, he would definitely be able to obtain the agreement of all the elders. However, if Xin Jingqiu insisted on choosing Lin Xian, all the elders would oppose it. This way, the Holy Lady and the spiritual tribe would clash. This was the result he wanted, so he stood up again. Chua is our Holy Lady, and she has obtained 2nd place. This means that her husband is definitely a powerhouse whose name resounds throughout the world. He isn't someone that any random person can be. Yes, that's right. Lin Wudi doesn't have the right to be with our Holy Lady. This time all the elders agreed. Even the spiritual race's old ancestor didn't say anything. 1st place was Lin Wudi? What a joke. Gui Li and Di Ling hadn't appeared yet. How could it be Lin Wudi's turn? Perhaps Lin Wudi had already been crippled by Di Ling or Yu Qinya. The others were also discussing. Who was first? Some people even said that there might not be 1st place but 3 personal disciples. The news spread wider and finally, everyone believed it. Could it be that Di Ling and the other 2 had really become the disciples of the Sage King, and were above all the core disciples? Thinking about this, the Rain Clan's people were very happy. Their faces were filled with excitement. Great. From today onwards, their Rain Clan would be one of the top great clans. Even in the entire 2nd star dimension, they would be an extremely terrifying existence. My backend crashed during the day, so I couldn't update it. Chapter 3704. The people of the Fiend Star and Spirit Sealing Star were the same. They raised their heads and waited for the final result. Countless people were envious. They knew that from now on these 3 forces would really soar. In the sky, the elder of Wuxia City stood out again and said in a clear voice. The 1st place is... Speaking of this, he paused for a moment and looked in all directions. As for the people below, they craned their necks and their hearts almost jumped out of their chests. 1st place Lin Wudi. When this voice came out, everyone was stunned. Their minds were blank and petrified. No one could believe their ears. Before this, they had hundreds of guesses. For example, they guessed that Di Ling would be first. Or it might be Gui Li. Later on, they guessed that there was no 1st place. There were only 3 direct disciples of the Saint King. But now, when they got the result, it was completely different from their guesses. There was a 1st place, and the 1st place was someone they did not expect. Lin Wudi. This was too unbelievable. After a long period of silence and petrification, someone finally screamed. Then everyone was in an uproar. The entire world was filled with all kinds of noises. Some were excited, some were surprised, and some were puzzled. There were even people who roared at the sky. How was this possible? How could Lin Wuti be first? The person who roared was an elder of the Rain clan. He had already gone crazy. That was the enemy of their clan. How could the other party achieve such a dazzling result? In the sky, the elder of Wushuang City said in a deep voice. What was impossible? Lin Wuti was first in all 3 tests. He deserved to be first in the assessment. Not only that, but he also became the chief disciple of the 3rd generation disciples. When this news came out, there was another uproar. Chief disciple. This identity card was too important and too dazzling. It was above all the core disciples. One had to know that there was only one chief disciple in each generation. The first generation, Linghu Chueshue, and the second generation, Fu Hongye, were extremely terrifying existences. Now, the chief disciple of the 3rd generation had limitless achievements in the future. How was this possible? If he was the chief disciple, then what about Di Ling? The people of Spirit Sealing Star could not hold it in anymore. It was still acceptable for them to let Di Ling take first place. After all, Di Ling could become the personal disciple of the Sage King. He was not in the rankings. However, if he were to become the head disciple, they would not be able to accept it. There was only one chief disciple, and the other party had become the chief disciple. Then what was their imperial mausoleum? That's right, where's our ghostly? Why hasn't he appeared yet? The people from the Fiend Star also stood out and questioned in a cold voice. The Rain Clan's people also stood out. Where is our young master Chinya? Wasn't he already a direct disciple of the Sage King? Why wasn't he qualified to be the head disciple? Questioning voices rang out one after another, and the others also held their breaths. That's right, what the hell is going on? They need an explanation. The people of the Spirit Clan were also stunned. That little brat was actually first. Their faces were filled with disbelief. At this moment, they felt as if someone had ruthlessly slapped them in the face. Previously, when their holy daughter had obtained second place, they had been incomparably excited. Some people had even suggested that Lin Wuti wasn't qualified to be their holy daughter's husband. But now Lin Wuti was ranked first, and was even the chief disciple. This identity was even more dazzling than their holy daughter. Such a person, was he really not qualified? They didn't think so. Hence, at this moment, their faces were incomparably ugly. There were even many elders who were shocked. This was impossible, especially the elders of the Spirit Lotus clan. What was going on with this little brat? Although his talent was great, his strength wasn't strong. How could he obtain first place? I don't believe it. There must be a problem. Not only them, the surrounding people were also stunned. They really needed an explanation. In the sky, the elders of Peerless City's faces also sank. What? Are you all doubting our Peerless City? We don't dare to doubt, but we want to know where our genius's imperial mausoleum is. That's right, and our ghostly. Our young master Yuchinya, where is he now? The elders of Peerless City spoke. Who told you that Yuchinya had already become the Sage King's direct disciple? As soon as these words came out, it was like 10,000 claps of thunder, causing the Rain Clan's people to be stunned. Their young master Yuchinya didn't become a direct disciple? How was that possible? Damn it, the difference was really too big. They were previously praised to the skies, but now they fell from the clouds to the ground. This was simply unacceptable to them. Impossible, Chinya didn't become a direct disciple, but he wasn't in the rankings. What was going on? Could it be that he was eliminated? Thinking of this, the Rain Clan's people felt like their brains were about to explode. They simply couldn't accept this fact. The surrounding people were also in an uproar. No way, could it be that only Di Ling and Ghostly became direct disciples? For a moment, many people looked at the Rain Clan with strange eyes. Even those who saw the treasure before felt extremely regretful. They wished they could slap their own mouths. Damn it, the item was already given out, but did it really cause a misunderstanding? They should still hug Di Ling and Ghostly's thighs. Who told you that the Sage King had accepted a direct disciple? In the sky, the elders of Peerless City spoke again, causing everyone to be stunned. This time's examination only accepted ordinary and core disciples. The Sage King's direct disciples would be selected again in the future cultivation. This time there were no direct disciples. When this news spread, the people of 9 heavens 10 earths were stunned. There were no direct disciples. This was too inconceivable. Then what about Yuchinya? Di Ling and Ghostly? Everyone couldn't believe it. The Rain Clan's people were stunned. The people of Fiend Star and Spirit Sealing Star were also roaring crazily. Our genius? Where is our genius? Silence. In the sky, the peerless city elders spoke in a deep voice. A terrifying sage might spread throughout 9 heavens 10 earths. All the rankings had been completed. Those who were not ranked were disqualified and had been eliminated. What? Those who were eliminated. Everyone went crazy. Many people directly fainted. On the Rain Clan's side, many elders vomited blood. On the Fiend Star and Spirit Sealing Star's side, their faces were also pale and on the verge of collapse. Their young master Chinya was eliminated? Damn it. That was impossible. Di Ling and Ghostly were eliminated? How could this be? We don't believe it. The Fiend Star's people roared. The Spirit Sealing Star's people snorted coldly. There must be a problem. Where is our young master Chinya? The Rain Clan's people also roared. Said the elder of Wuxia City. Di Ling didn't come back in time for the 3rd test and was eliminated. Ghostly was eliminated in the 2nd round and was considered a nominal disciple. After half a year he could participate in the examination again. Chapter 3705. When the news came out, the surrounding people went crazy. Di Ling was really eliminated and Ghostly was also eliminated. Wasn't this too unbelievable? To be honest, these people felt like they were dreaming because anyone could be eliminated, but how could these 2 people be eliminated? They were the top 2 of the 8 geniuses, and they were the 2 most likely to become the eldest disciple. But now, not only did they not become the eldest disciple, they did not even become a disciple of Peerless City. They were eliminated directly. Impossible. We don't believe it. The people of Spirit Sealing Star roared crazily. Where is Di Ling? We want to see him. Yes, where is Ghostly? We want to see him too. The people of the Fiend Planet said. They felt that this matter was too strange. Di Ling, come out. In the sky, the elder of Peerless City waved his hand. From the crowd behind, a figure walked out. At this moment, Di Ling was no longer in a sorry state. The clothes and armor on his body had been changed, but his face was still pale. After he walked out, he did not say a word. It was Di Ling. Countless people screamed. The people of Spirit Sealing Star also felt their hearts sink. Di Ling was such an arrogant person. He was usually brilliant like a god of war. However, now the other party's aura was too weak, his expression ugly, making their hearts sink to the bottom of an ancient land. It was very likely that he was really eliminated. Di Ling, tell us how you were eliminated. Otherwise, others will think that Peerless City is unfair. Di Ling's face was extremely ugly. How could he bear to admit his miserable experience in front of everyone? However, he did not dare to go against Peerless City now. With Peerless City's strength, it was very easy to kill him. He could only obediently cooperate. He took a deep breath and said helplessly, in the 3rd stage I was chased and did not have time to collect the East Tombstone. Chased? Chased? Everyone's hearts trembled violently. The Imperial Mausoleum was so terrifying, but it was actually being chased by someone from the beginning to the end. He did not even have time to collect the East Tombstone. This was too shocking. The people of Spirit Sealing Star were also stunned. They did not expect it to be like this. If it was any other reason, they would not believe it. But if it was this one, then it could really be explained. Di Ling was powerful, but he was only an early 5th heavenly layer saint. There were many more who were more powerful than him. Moreover, they knew about the East Spirit World. There were all sorts of powerful beings and disciples of the Saint City training there. Perhaps Di Ling was really unlucky and provoked some heaven-defying existence and was being hunted down. Everyone sighed. Di Ling's luck was really bad. That's right, he was simply unlucky to the extreme. Who knew what kind of expert he had provoked? Do you think his pursuit has anything to do with Lin Wudi? Everyone quietly looked up at the sky. In the sky, the most dazzling person standing at the front was Lin Xian. His body shone with boundless light as he accepted the worship of the crowd. Previously, everyone had different opinions about Lin Xian. They thought that he was talented but weak, and that he would need hundreds or thousands of years to grow. But now the other party had proven that not only was he talented, he was also strong and had become the eldest disciple of the Shi clan. Did Lin Xian tamper with the Imperial Mausoleum's elimination? They did not know. Di Ling's matter had been explained clearly. As for Ghostly, he was now an unnamed disciple and was still cultivating in Wuxia City. Hence he could not come over. Hearing this, the people of the Demon Star sighed. However, there was still hope for him to become an unnamed disciple. In other words, Ghostly could still become a disciple of the Saint City in the future. This made them slightly concerned. However, someone stood out and asked in a deep voice, "I want to know, how did Ghostly get eliminated?" Ghostly challenged Lin Wudi in the second round and lost. He was eliminated. The elder of Wuxia City spoke. Everyone was shocked. The eyelids of the people of the Demon Star twitched. Did he lose to Lin Wudi? Ghostly could not beat Lin Wudi. The others were also in an uproar. Lin Wudi was too strong. They now had a deeper understanding of Lin Xian's terror. Wait, that's not right. At this moment, the people of the Spirit Sealing Star stood out. They said that Ghostly was eliminated and became an unnamed disciple. Why would our Imperial Mausoleum be disqualified after being eliminated? Wasn't this a little too unfair? That's right. The surrounding people were also in an uproar. This was indeed a problem. Everyone discussed spiritedly. The elders of the Rain clan said, "That's right, where is our young master? Where is he? When was he eliminated?" "Alright, I'll explain it to you." The elder of Wuxia City spoke. He was eliminated because he lost twice. Actually, it was not the third round. In the second round, Di Ling was eliminated and became an unnamed disciple. What? Di Ling was eliminated twice. Everyone was shocked. Di Ling was the #1 genius of the 8 great geniuses. How strong was he? He had actually been eliminated twice. Who was so powerful? The elder of Wuxia City said, in the second round, Di Ling also challenged Lin Wudi but lost and was eliminated. In the same situation, Yu Qinya challenged Lin Wudi and was also defeated. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Lin Wudi, it was Lin Wudi again. This Lin Wudi was too heaven-defying. Not only did he defeat Gui Li, but he also defeated Di Ling and Yu Qinya. These were 3 geniuses of the 8 great geniuses. What was going on in the second round? Everyone wanted to know. However, how could the people of Wuxia City reveal the details? If you feel that it was unfair, you can ask all the participants and see if they said it was fair. When these words came out, everyone became silent. That's right. If Wuxia City was really unfair, there would definitely be people who jumped out. However, no one objected. This meant that the process was absolutely fair. If they lost, it meant that their strength was inferior. Although they did not want to believe it, it was the truth. It was an unchangeable truth. The faces of the people from Spirit Sealing Star were extremely ugly. Their geniuses had actually lost twice. It was really too shameful. Di Ling was also trembling. On the other side, the people of the Rain clan were also dumbfounded. They were so angry that they vomited blood. That damned Lin Wudi, how could this be possible? They really did not expect that the young master they were so proud of would be defeated in the second round. One had to know that before, they had imagined that their young master could kill his way into the top 3 and even get first place to become the eldest disciple. Later on, they even imagined that their young master could become the Saint King's disciple. But now their young master had actually been defeated. This was no longer a slap to the face, this was a ruthless kick to their hearts. They could not believe such a huge contrast. Chapter 3706. The surrounding followers of the Rain clan also had ugly expressions on their faces. Damn it, they had really failed. Yu Qinya had really been eliminated. Damn it, they had hugged onto a huge thigh. How was this a golden thigh? This was a rotten thigh without any hope. In an instant, these people retreated one after another. There were even some who wanted to take back the treasures they had given away. This scene provoked the elders of the Rain clan even more. Yu Qinya stood in the crowd, trembling slightly. Although she was wearing a veil, her expression was extremely ugly. Her younger brother had actually been defeated. Furthermore, he had been defeated by Lin Wudi. This was truly an enormous irony. Before this, Lin Wudi had already been the benefactor of their Rain clan. However, not a single one of them had thought highly of him. They had even ridiculed him, thinking that he was an ant from the first astral realm. However, now reality had ruthlessly slapped them in the face. It was precisely this ant that had defeated their genius young master. Furthermore, he had even become the head disciple of the holy city. What sort of glory was this? In the sky, the elder of Peerless City continued. Originally, Di Ling, Yu Qinya and the others had already lost the qualifications to participate in the third stage. However, these people had joined hands to create trouble. Our Peerless City had given them an additional opportunity to participate in the second stage. If they could successfully pass the second stage, they would be able to participate in the third stage. However, if they failed, they would be disqualified from being a nominal disciple. They would be completely eliminated. Among them, Di Ling and Yu Qinya had both participated in the second stage. Ghostly had chosen not to participate. Thus he was still a nominal disciple. In the third stage, Di Ling and Yu Qinya had both failed. Thus, the two of them were directly eliminated. This was already extremely clear. Now everyone knew what was going on. So this was the case. No wonder Ghostly was a nominal disciple. Di Ling and Yu Qinya were directly eliminated. However, where was our young master Yu Qinya? The people of the Rain clan asked again. Because Ghostly was a nominal disciple, he did not come. However, Yu Qinya was the same as Di Ling. Why did he not come out? In the sky, the elder of Peerless City said. Yu Qinya had failed in the third stage. After that, we sent people to search for him, but they could not find him. We guessed that he might have fallen in the Eastern Spirit World. Yu Qinya was dead. Everyone was stunned. If Yu Qinya's elimination was like an earthquake, then Yu Qinya's death was like a storm. In fact, it wasn't just Yu Qinya who had lost their lives inside. When they heard that there were more than 100 people, many families collapsed. Not only were their geniuses eliminated, but they had also died inside. The others were also silent. They mourned for these people. However, everyone knew that this was very normal. Since there was a battle, there would definitely be casualties. Especially in a training ground like the East Spirit World. It was just that they didn't expect a genius like Yu Qinya to fall inside. I don't believe it. The people from the Rain clan also collapsed. Their genius, the hope of their Rain clan, actually died inside. This was simply falling from the clouds onto the ground. Instead, he fell directly from the clouds to the 18th level of hell. Yu Shiqia's body swayed and she almost fell. She spat out a mouthful of blood and clutched her chest in shock. Was his brother dead? How could this be? Who killed my brother? The other elders also roared. Who was the murderer? We must tear him to shreds. There were countless experts in the East Spirit World, many disciples of the Holy City, and countless beast saints. Anyone could be the murderer. The people from the Rain clan were stunned. They didn't know who the murderer was. The others were also in an uproar. It might be a powerful beast. Yes, the beasts there were arrogant and probably didn't put the human race in their eyes. Discussions sounded one after another. The people from the Rain clan found it hard to accept. Their young master had died and there wasn't even a murderer. Damn it, it was that brat. It might be that Lin Wuti. A voice sounded, and then countless eyes turned to look at the figure above them. Lin Wuti, could it be him? The others were also shocked. Tell me, did you kill our young master? The elders of the Rain clan roared crazily. In the sky, Lin Shen stood there with his hands behind his back. He looked down with a cold smile. He didn't answer. The people from Peerless City beside him covered their mouths and stood out, shouting coldly. What kind of attitude is this? This is the head disciple of our third generation, representing our Peerless City. You dare to berate our head disciple? Do you want to become enemies with our Peerless City? His voice was cold and emotionless. When the others heard it, their scalps went numb. The people from the Rain clan were also stunned. Even the followers of the Rain clan opened up a path and distanced themselves from the Rain clan. What a joke. No matter how powerful the Rain clan was, they were only a family. However, Peerless City was the holy city. With a Saint King overseeing the city, it was like the difference between a giant dragon and an ant. If Peerless City wanted to exterminate the Rain clan, it would be very easy. At this time, whoever helped the Rain clan would be going against Peerless City. No one would be so stupid. The people from the Rain clan also came to their senses. They were so scared that their bodies turned cold. Damn it, they hated it so much. Lin Wuti was no longer an ant in their eyes. He was the head disciple of Peerless City. His identity was so noble that even their patriarch had to avoid him. After all, they had to be polite. Come back. The patriarch of the Rain clan said coldly. They didn't dare to fall out with Peerless City. Otherwise, they would be annihilated. The people from the Rain clan retreated unwillingly. However, no one dared to shout again. However, they swore in their hearts that they would definitely take revenge. At this time, Lin Xian, who was in the sky, spoke. To be honest, I'm also heartbroken that Qinya fell in the Eastern Spirit World. After all, he was also a heaven's pride, someone who could have become my fellow disciple. However, it's a pity that his luck wasn't good. As for why you didn't suspect me, I can understand. That's because there is hatred between us. I once helped your Rain clan. You repaid my kindness with enmity. However, I won't pursue this matter. However, I'm not only representing myself, but also Peerless City. Therefore, I hope that you and the Rain clan can correct your attitude. It doesn't matter if you insult me, but if you dare to insult Peerless City, I'll definitely fight you to the death. Oh. The people from the Rain clan below were so angry that they vomited blood. Many elders fainted from anger. The people in the surroundings also had different expressions. It seemed that this Lin Wudi was not only powerful but also very smart. With a few simple words, he directly pointed out the Rain clan's despicable and shameless behavior. As for him, he displayed magnanimity. Following that, he pointed out Chinya's identity and swore to protect the honor of Peerless City. In an instant, he changed from a suspect to an outstanding genius with a boundless future. Moreover, he was the head disciple of Peerless City. As for the Rain clan, if they dared to play any tricks, Peerless City would definitely take action. Chapter 3707. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. Rain clan? He didn't care about them anymore. If these people dared to touch him, he wouldn't even need to do anything. Someone else would take care of them. The people of Peerless City were also satisfied. Lin Xian had said that Yu Qinya's death was an accident and he had defended Peerless City. They were naturally satisfied. The people of the Rain clan were disheartened. The people of Spirit Sealing Star were indignant. This was supposed to be their glory, but it had been given to someone else. Di Ling was trembling with anger. However, he was no longer a match for Lin Xian. He wanted to break through. He wanted to become stronger. He believed that he would be able to trample Lin Xian under his feet again. The eyes of the people from the Fiend Planet flickered. This was really unexpected. They didn't expect a dark horse to appear. It seemed like they had to warn Ghostly to be careful. Lin Wudi was too terrifying. The other clans and sects were also warning their juniors not to go against Lin Wudi. The people of Spirit Tribe were also silent. They had been disdainful of Lin Wudi before. However, he was too dazzling now. The old ancestor of Spirit Tribe snorted. Why aren't you talking? Weren't you good at arguing before? You're too young. You can't judge people accurately. From now on, you're not allowed to go against Lin Wudi. If I find out, I'll expel him from Spirit Tribe. The others were scared stiff. Yes, old ancestor. We'll definitely do that. Even without the old ancestor's warning, they knew that they couldn't provoke this person. The old ancestor was still worried. As for Chiu, and the young people, let them make their own decisions. Understood? Understood. We understand. The elders nodded their heads quickly. Ling Huanhua's face was pale with fright. Ling Huanhua's father lowered his head, not daring to say anything. Next, it was the grand entrance ceremony. The holy city's recruitment of disciples was an extremely important matter. Therefore, the ceremony had to be announced to the world so that countless clans and sects would worship it. This way, it could strengthen the holy city's reputation and strengthen their power. Sure enough, at this moment, countless people presented treasures one after another, congratulating him. Among them, the most dazzling one was Lin Xian. As the head disciple, he was the center of attention. From today onwards, the name Lin Wudi would resound throughout the second astral realm. Over at the Rain clan's side, the people who had presented the gifts earlier all gathered around. Well, hurry up and return the treasure I gave you. Fellow Taoist, I'm too poor right now. I don't have anything to give to Peerless City. Therefore, I think it's better if you return the godly medal that I gave you. Granddaughter, come back quickly. It's best if you become Lin Wudi's concubine. Voices sounded one after another. The elders of the Rain clan fainted from anger once again. It was a grand entrance ceremony. Countless people prostrated themselves in worship. In the sky, 498 people stood there. Behind them were the official disciples, and further ahead were the 49 core disciples. Standing at the very front was Lin Xian. The whole ceremony not only conferred status, but also conferred rewards. Lin Xian took first place in all 3 tests and obtained 3 Dao comprehending tea leaves. This made countless people jealous. Even the eyes of those small saints turned red. This was truly a rare treasure. Its effect on comprehending the great Tao of heaven and earth was too obvious. They couldn't wait to snatch it. Of course, they didn't dare to do so. Apart from that, there were also a lot of rewards such as divine abilities, cultivation methods, martial arts, armors and weapons. There were all kinds of cultivation pills and resources. At this moment, they were arranged in a row. Apart from that, Lin Xian also had an extra unparalleled sword. This was a sacred weapon, a treasured sword. It was forged based on the real Saint King's weapon, the unparalleled sword. There were a total of 3 swords. The chief disciple had 1 each. In other words, Linghu Chueshue, Fu Hongye, and Lin Xian each had 1. This was not only a sacred weapon, but also a symbol of status. After Lin Xian respectfully received it, he hung it on his waist. He raised his head and let the countless rays of light shine on his body. From now on, he was a member of Peerless City. With his status, Even the patriarch of a clan like the Rain clan had to be respectful to him, let alone those elders. His opponents in the future would be the geniuses of other saint cities. Apart from the normal rewards, the treasures of the surrounding clans, sects, and experts were also piled up like a mountain. After a few days, Peerless City would distribute these things to Lin Xian and the others as rewards. It had to be said that becoming a disciple of the saint cities was really great. Just these resources were enough to make countless saints jealous. With Lin Xian's status, the resources he would receive in the future would probably be more than the entire Rain clan combined. This was the strength of the saint cities. Everyone was overwhelmed with emotions. They thought that in the future this matter would definitely spread throughout the entire Second Star realm, because it was too legendary and too shocking. However, they didn't expect that at the last moment of the disciple acceptance ceremony, there would be an unforeseen event. In the distance there was a crack in space. A formation flickered in the sky. Someone was about to be teleported over. And from the looks of it, it wasn't a single-person teleportation, but a group teleportation. Who would be so generous to set up such a terrifying spatial teleportation formation? The people of Peerless City also stopped what they were doing and turned their heads to look in front. The elders of Peerless City frowned. Looking at the formation, it wasn't weak at all. They wondered which saint cities it was from. However, the other party came at this time. Wasn't it too arrogant? Were they trying to go against Peerless City? The faces of the others also changed. Who was it that was so arrogant? Finally, they saw countless people descending. Accompanying them were extremely terrifying thunder and laws. They covered the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Everyone's bodies instantly tensed up. What a terrifying aura of thunder. Moreover, it wasn't just one person but countless people. Were these people from the Thunder God City? Many people screamed because they guessed that the ones who dared to do this should be the saint cities. And the only ones who had such a violent aura of the Thunder God City could only be the Thunder God City. However, why did the other party come at this time? They didn't know. However, the faces of the people of Peerless City changed. Even Shin Jingqiu and Lin Xian frowned. Others didn't know but they knew. In the Eastern Spirit World, their Peerless City and Thunder God City had a huge battle. In that battle they had obtained a complete victory. Many people from the Thunder God City had died, and countless saints had been injured. They knew that Thunder God City wouldn't let this matter rest. However, they didn't expect the other party to come at this time. Be careful, the other party didn't come with good intentions. At the same time, send a message to the saint cities to get some elders and experts to come over. The elders of Peerless City hurriedly gave the order. The martial artists of Peerless City started to move quickly. Soon, the teleportation formation of Peerless City flickered and people were teleported over. Chapter 3708. Many elders walked out, each with a strong aura. Moreover, Fu Hongya was here too. Not only him, but he also brought a group of second-generation disciples. Heavens, something big is going to happen. The surrounding worshippers were dumbfounded. Could it be that the two saint cities were going to fight? If that was the case, it would be more shocking than the death of Wuxia. Their hearts were beating wildly. If something went wrong, they would run away immediately. After the people of Thunder God City were teleported out, the few elders who were leading them laughed out loud. They brought their people and flew quickly in the air, heading over here. On the side of Peerless City, a few elders gathered together and asked in a loud voice, "Friends of Thunder God City, what are you here for?" "Of course we're here to congratulate." The people of Thunder God City laughed. "Today is the day of Peerless City's disciple recruitment. We're here on the orders of Thunder Sage King to congratulate Peerless City for accepting a genius disciple. Come, bring the gifts." The few elders waved their hands, and the disciples of Thunder God City behind them took out their gifts. Treasures were piled up like mountains. The others were stunned. Here to congratulate? Was it really that simple? Even the people of Peerless City frowned. The other party was only here to congratulate? What a joke. If others believed it, then so be it. If they believed it, then they were fools. Previously in the East Spirit World, the battle was so fierce. Now that the other party was smiling, there must be something wrong. The others did not know and thought that the two great sage cities had a good relationship. However, at this moment, the elders of Thunder God City said that other than congratulating, they also brought some of the young fellows of Thunder God City. When these young fellows heard that Peerless City had a lot of geniuses this time, they were very excited and wanted to spar with each other. They wondered if the friends of Peerless City would give them face. Hearing this, the surrounding people were in an uproar. They wanted to spar? Many people's eyes lit up and some of them even frowned. Indeed, things were not that simple. To spar during such a grand entrance ceremony, this was not a simple competition. They were here to cause trouble. Because once the new disciples of Peerless City were defeated, it would be a slap to the face. The whole Second Star realm would know about it soon. As a holy city, face was very important. If they were slapped in the face at this time, the reputation of the holy city would be severely damaged. When the people from Peerless City heard this, they frowned. Sparring? As expected, these people were up to no good. An elder from Wuxia City stood out. They could exchange pointers, but not now. Now is the most crucial moment of our Wuxia City's entrance ceremony. If everyone wants to exchange pointers, we will arrange a competition in the future. In the future? But these little fellows can't wait any longer. Moreover, we came from far away. I heard that there are quite a few geniuses from Wuxia City this time. If he entered the holy city and went into seclusion for 8 to 10 years and did not come out, then it would really be a pity. That's right. Senior, we're really just sparring. We won't go all out. Senior, don't worry. In front of everyone in the world, I, Thunder Saint City, will still give you face. At this time, a few disciples from the opposite side walked out. Although their expressions were respectful, their tone was not very polite. I heard that there's a person called Lin Wudi in this exam. He's very powerful and I want to experience it for myself. Another person walked out. When this person appeared, many people cried out in surprise. A level 5 sage. This person's strength was even stronger than Di Ling. He actually wanted to challenge Lin Wudi? Could it be that there was some hatred between the two? After all, it was normal for there to be competition between the holy cities. However, to challenge someone by name was not normal. There must be some conflict between the two sides. As soon as this was said, countless people started discussing. Many people looked towards Wuxia City. Would the people from Wuxia City agree? Many people shook their heads. Not necessarily. If they agreed at this time, it would be fine if they won. However, if they lost, it would be very embarrassing. Not necessarily. They were already being shouted at to this extent. If they still did not make a move, then they would be ridiculed even more. That's right. Also, look at how aggressive Lei Xinqing was this time. He definitely had a way to make Wuxia City make a move. The battle between the two holy cities would definitely be exciting. It would definitely be more exciting than the previous exams. That was for sure. These people were all excited. In the previous 3 rounds, they had only seen the first round. It was not fun at all. Now, if they could see the genius disciples of the holy cities fight, then they would not have come in vain. Of course, there were also some big families that were very worried. Because their genius disciples had just entered the holy cities and were about to be challenged. If they were defeated, it would be a huge blow to them. There were also some people who were very excited. Their faces were filled with excitement. For example, the Rain Clan. Originally, they looked as if they were struck by lightning. However, at this moment, they revealed a sinister expression. Challenging Lin Wudi? That's great. I'll let the geniuses of Thunder God City kill Lin Wudi. I want to see this brat's body being torn into pieces with my own eyes. They wish they could kneel down right now and beg the people of Thunder God City to make a move. On the other side, the people of Fiend Star and Spirit Sealing Star were also gloomy. After all, Lin Wudi had also defeated their genius in the second round. If someone could teach him a lesson at this time, then it would be for the best. This brat was definitely going to die. Di Ling snorted. A level 5 sage was extremely powerful. He could not even contend against him without the ancient bronze corpse. How could the other party contend against him? Moreover, this was not an ordinary level 5 sage. This was a Heaven's Pride of Thunder God City. A Heaven's Pride that could fight across realms. The people of Wuxia City also frowned. Lei Chong. They did not expect that the one who stood out to challenge was Lei Chong. This was not a new disciple. The other party was a veteran genius of Thunder God City. He was very famous. Many of them knew him. For such a person to challenge a new disciple, this was not deliberately looking for trouble. It was a provocation. Therefore they wanted to refuse. However, they knew that Lei Xinqing would not let this matter go. After all, the conflict between the two parties was very intense. Perhaps the other party still had some tricks up his sleeve waiting for them. Moreover, they were from the holy cities. Did they need Thunder God City to give them face? So it was Lei Chong. Mr. Lei, if you want to spar, you can. Why are you looking for our new junior brother? How about this, I'll spar with you. A person walked out. This was a second-generation disciple. His body was emitting a terrifying light of laws. That's right. A veteran disciple wanting to challenge a new disciple who had just entered the holy cities. This was somewhat inappropriate. When did Lei Xinqing become so cowardly? The second-generation disciples of Wushuang City also spoke coldly. When the others heard this, they went into an uproar. What? This Lei Chong was actually a veteran genius? Some people exclaimed. I've heard of him. He is very powerful. Why is he fighting against Lin Wudi? Chapter 3709. Lei Chong said coldly. I'm not interested in challenging you second-generation disciples. I only want to challenge Lin Wudi. Although he's a newcomer, his strength is very powerful. I've already seen it in Dongling World. However, because of some unexpected things, I didn't have the chance to personally experience his skills. Now, I want to have a real contest with him. Lin Wudi, do you dare? Lei Chong's eyes were filled with cold, killing intent. He was indeed here to provoke. He was here to ruthlessly slap his face. Previously, at Dongling Stairs, he had already fought with Lin Xian. Lin Xian had killed his younger brother, and he would definitely avenge this grudge. That day he had brought over a dozen cultivators with him, wanting to torture Lin Xian to death. However, he didn't expect that Lin Xian had a kind of poison in his hands. Not only did they not kill him, but they were also instantly defeated by him. This was simply a great humiliation. Therefore, at this moment he must properly torture his opponent to death in front of the whole world. You want to challenge me? Sure, but I'm the chief disciple. Not just any random cat or dog can challenge me. Let your chief disciple come. The people of Thunder God City were so angry that they wanted to vomit blood. Damn, were they actually looked down on? The corners of the surrounding people's mouths twitched. Cat or dog? Lei Chong was a top genius, a fifth heaven saint. If this was a cat or dog, then what were they? Lei Chong was also furious. Damn brat, you're courting death. He roared, and the 9 heavenly thunder descended. Hey, why are you angry? Didn't you come to congratulate me? It's very impolite to be angry in our territory. Lin Xian said again. I'm not talking about you guys. It's just a metaphor. Don't take it personally. Oh. The people of Thunder God City were once again injured. They were about to bleed. Damn, why does this guy look like he's asking for a beating? Especially Lei Chong. He was so annoyed that he couldn't wait to go up and slap him to death. Lin Xian, on the other hand, was unperturbed. He didn't have the slightest intention to make a move. The elders of the Thunder God City also gave Lei Chong a look, telling him not to be impulsive and to let the new disciples go first. Soon, a few new disciples from Thunder God City walked out. They had just joined Thunder God City not long ago. Us new disciples can challenge the geniuses of Peerless City, right? A man walked out with lightning circling around his body. As he jumped, he brought with him a violent and destructive power. I'll do it. The genius disciples of Wushuang City could not take it anymore. They were arrogant and unruly to begin with. Now that they were able to join the holy city, they were even more proud and arrogant. Now that someone had provoked them in public and more than once, how could they tolerate it? Thus, very soon someone stood out. However, he still asked the elder of Peerless City. The elder of Peerless City glanced at him and nodded slightly, expressing his approval. The person who came out was one of the core disciples, and his strength could be considered formidable. Furthermore, they also wanted to see how strong the newcomers from Thunder God City were this time, since they dared to behave atrociously in their Wushuang City. Was the battle about to begin? The surrounding people were all stunned. They didn't think that the two great sage cities would really compete with each other. This was truly an exciting piece of news. For a moment, countless people were incomparably excited. 2 genius disciples of Holy City walked out. Without any nonsense, they directly started fighting. On the opposite side, the genius disciple from Thunder God City was very powerful. He was an early-stage 4th heaven person. The lightning on his body was very terrifying. It made many experts of the older generation cry out in surprise. Was this the strength of a disciple from Holy City? They were really too strong. However, the genius from Wushuang City was also very impressive. He was also an early-stage 4th heaven person. He held a long saber in his hand and swept it in all directions. Every time he swept it, the sky would collapse and the earth would crack. The battle between the two was very exciting, causing countless people to cry out in surprise. It seemed that they were unable to determine the winner and loser. Why don't they have a match with me? At this time, a person from Thunder God City walked out. This person was tall and had a pair of thunder wings on his back. He was from the 10,000 ancient races. Obviously, the other party was not human. He was from the Thunder Bat race. This kind of Thunder Bat race was originally a thunder race. Now that they had joined Thunder God City, they were even more powerful. The moment he appeared, A vast power swept out in all directions. Many people's faces changed. Even the people from Peerless City had serious expressions on their faces. Too powerful. However, there was still someone who walked out. I'll do it. The person who walked out was shining brightly like a sun. He was Jianghu, one of the 8 great heavens prides. Now he was ranked 7th among the core disciples. Because the person who walked out was very strong, he had no choice but to take action. The people from Wuxia City breathed a sigh of relief. With Jianghu's strength he should be able to resist. The surrounding people cried out in surprise. Heavens, is Jianghu going to take action? Isn't it too early? Don't underestimate the other party. Thunder God City's inheritance was very long, more than 10,000 years. Its foundation was above Wuxia City. And this genius from the Thunder Bat race was a mid-stage 4th heaven person. He definitely had something to rely on. Jianghu's strength was definitely comparable. Boom. The expert from the Bat race sneered and took action. Jianghu also roared in anger. His palm formed a seal, turning into a huge sun that descended from the sky. Boom boom boom. The two of them fought fiercely. All kinds of laws spread between heaven and earth. Fortunately, this was the outer region of the starry sky, which was wide enough. Otherwise, the world below would have been destroyed. The crowd watched the battle nervously. The battle between the two sides was very intense. Not long after, the outcome was decided. The first battle was between 2 early-stage 4th heaven people. The genius from Wuxia City was injured. On the other side, the people from Thunder God City didn't have it easy either. Both sides were injured. It seemed like they were evenly matched. How about a draw? The elder from Wuxia City asked. The people from Thunder God City snorted and didn't say anything. However, it seemed like it would be hard to tell who would win if the battle continued. The first round was a draw. Too exciting. Too exciting. The surrounding people couldn't help but scream. It was rare for them to see such a battle. After all, the divine abilities of these geniuses were terrifying. Moreover, their battle experience was unparalleled. Some people who were unconvinced thought that their geniuses could also enter Wuxia City. Why were they eliminated? However, after watching the battle, they knew that the gap was too big. Those who could enter Holy City, even if they were ranked at the bottom, were the top geniuses. They were far from what they imagined. The second battle was also decided. Jianghu was injured. Many parts of his body were charred black. He was struck by thunder. However, he didn't care. Instead, he raised a smile. That was because the opponent's Thunder Bat was more seriously injured. Its body exploded once. Chapter 37:10. Come back, you've lost this round. The elder of the Thunder God City looked at the Thunder Bat and spoke in a deep voice. His expression was somewhat unsightly. He did not expect that Lei Bat would lose. Lei Bat said, "Old Zhang, I haven't lost yet, I can still fight." However, the elder was not willing. Those who fought were all geniuses. If they were careless and died, or if their foundation was damaged, the loss would outweigh the gain. Left with no choice, Lei Bat could only clench his teeth and walk back. On the other hand, the people from Peerless City cried out in shock. They finally won a round. Let's see if the people from Thunder God City still dare to be arrogant. Sure enough, the people from Wuxia City were more powerful. Many people exclaimed and were incomparably excited. However, there were also some experts who shook their heads. They could not come to a conclusion so early. There were many people from Thunder God City. They were afraid that the competition would not end so easily. Sure enough, 3 people from Thunder God City walked out and 3 people from Wuxia City accepted the challenge. The result was shocking. Wuxia City only won 1 round and lost the other 2. This caused Wuxia City's morale to suffer a blow. Countless people exclaimed. On Thunder God City's side, a smile appeared on their lips. Competing with them? They were still far from it. This time they were here to teach Wuxia City a lesson and let them know what a veteran sacred city is. Old Zhang, what should we do? Are they still clamoring for us to fight? The people from Wuxia City asked. Those elders also frowned. These people from Thunder God City were too arrogant. That's right. Their disciples had already joined Sacred City for a period of time. On our side, we haven't even entered the sect yet. We'll be at a disadvantage if we fight. That's right. Those people from Thunder God City could not be called as new disciples because they had already cultivated for a long time. On their side, they had not even entered the sect yet. If they continued to fight, it would probably involve the top few core disciples. These were all important targets to nurture. If they were to lose at this time, it would be a huge blow to their confidence. Elder, it's fine. Let us do it. Shi Bufan said in a deep voice. Xin Jingqiu, Zhishui Tianqin, Wang Xiaofeng and the others also said, we can also fight. We're not afraid of losing. It's not that I don't trust you, but the risk is too great. The people on their side have all cultivated the sacred city's secret technique. Moreover, this time they didn't send their core disciples to the front. If you go into the water, the gains won't make up for the losses. Indeed, if the other party was also one of the top few, this battle was not impossible. After all, if he won, he would instantly become famous. However, if the other party was just an ordinary disciple who had been in the holy city for a long time and cultivated a secret technique, they could bully the core disciples who had just entered the holy city. If he were to lose, he would become the laughingstock of the world. However, if he didn't fight, he would be ridiculed by others. These elders decided to let the second-generation disciples take action. They would find a way to divert the flames of war to the previous generation disciples. It could preserve these new disciples. Initially, the human roots of the Thunder Divine City did not want to do this. They were here to attack Wushuang. How could they fight with the second-generation disciples? They wanted to trample these disciples who had yet to join the sect under their feet. It would be best if their Dao hearts crumbled. Let me do it. Just as Peerless City was in a difficult position and everyone was shocked, thinking that Peerless City would be suppressed by Thunder God Qing, Lin Xian spoke up. You wanted to participate. No, you can't participate. The elders of Peerless City immediately shook their heads. What a joke. Even top core disciples like Shui Tianqin and Shen Jingqiu were not willing to participate. How could they let Lin Xian, the top disciple, participate? You can't go. It's too risky. They're trying to provoke you. Yes, you have to cherish your reputation now. If you want to fight, wait until you join the holy city and cultivate our secret technique. Then you can fight with him in the future. The elders tried to dissuade him. The second-generation disciples also said, yes, junior brother Lin, you can't be impulsive. Lin Xian said, this happened because of me. If I were to back down now, I wouldn't be able to answer to myself. Moreover, I believe in advancing courageously. Since I dared to use the name Invincible Lin, I am ready to fight at any time. Moreover, with the performance of the East Spirit World, don't you guys believe in me? Lin Xian looked around. The people of Peerless City were silent. Yes, this Lin Wudi was special. But they still didn't want to take the risk. Don't worry, Elder. I'll give you my head to guarantee that I won't lose. If I lose, I won't be the top disciple anymore. The people from Peerless City sucked in a breath of cold air. Even Shui Tianqin, Shi Bufan and the others were shocked. They could tell that Thunder God City was aggressive. Even if they were to participate, they wouldn't have the confidence to win. In fact, they didn't even have half the confidence. But now Lin Xian actually said that he wouldn't lose. How confident was that? And if he lost, he wouldn't be the top disciple anymore. Wasn't that a military order? But the elders still wanted to say something, but a figure said, let him try. Everyone turned around and realized that the one who spoke was Fu Hongye. They were shocked. Senior brother Fu is here? Seeing Fu Hongye nodding, the elders were silent. Fu Hongye and the others had absolute faith in Lin Xian. Since Lin Xian had said so, it meant that Lin Xian was very confident. Alright, then you'll go. But be careful. Be careful of Lei Chong. Don't go against him. Don't worry, Elder. I know what I'm doing. Lin Xian nodded. He walked forward with a cold smile. Don't fight with Lei Chong? Although he said that, who knew what would happen if they really fought? It was fine if he didn't provoke Lei Chong. If Lei Chong dared to jump out, he wouldn't mind stepping on this old genius. On the other side, Thunder God City looked determined. They felt that their goal was about to be achieved. The surrounding warriors were in an uproar. Could it be that Thunder God City was going to slap Peerless City's face today? Just as the crowd was discussing anxiously, a figure walked out from the crowd. Why is it him? Tianya, who is it? Am I seeing things? Many people started screaming because they realized that a figure was walking out. But this figure shouldn't have appeared. Lin Wudi, why is he here? Yeah, he's the chief disciple. His identity isn't ordinary. If he loses, Peerless City's face will be completely lost. Peerless City shouldn't let him participate in the battle. Cries of surprise rang out one after another. Everyone knew this simple logic, but why was Peerless City doing this? Even the people from Thunder God City were stunned. Lin Wudi? They rubbed their glasses. Am I seeing things? In the next moment, they were ecstatic. This is great. Is Lin Wudi going to fight? Their hearts were beating wildly. If they could defeat Lin Wudi, it would be comparable to all their previous achievements. This was the most crucial battle. They had to trample this new chief disciple under their feet. 5 chapters. Please recommend, vote, subscribe, collect, tip. Chapter 37:11. I'll go. Lei Chong was too excited. His figure flashed and he was about to rush up, but he was stopped by the elder beside him. Don't be impulsive. You'll scare him away if you go up. Let's find someone to test his skills first. It's best to let him win 1 or 2 rounds and then confuse him. Let him think that he can stand until the end. At that time you can make a move. Thunder. Good. Lei Chong laughed. Everyone in Thunder God City laughed. The opponent is definitely dead. First, 2 4th Heavenly Layer Sages were sent out. Soon, 4th Heavenly Layer Sages from Thunder God City walked out. Everyone below was discussing. This Lin Wudi, what kind of strength does he have? He's just an early 3rd Heavenly Layer Sage. How can he become the head disciple? Don't worry, we'll be able to see his true strength in a while. Many people were excited. There were also some people, such as the Spirit Clan, who didn't believe it. They even thought that Lin Xian was able to obtain this position because their saintess secretly helped him. The Rain Clan was gnashing their teeth. It would be best if the people from Thunder God City killed him on the spot. The people from the Fiend Star and the Spirit Sealing Star were also gloating. If something happened to Lin Wudi at this time, it would be for the best. Di Ling's expression was cold as he gnashed his teeth. He couldn't wait to go up and kill the opponent himself. Come kid. Let me see what kind of strength you have as the number 1 person. The people from Thunder God City hooted. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. An early 4th Heavenly Layer. Such a person dared to deal with him? Ignorant of life and death. At the back, the people from Peerless City were also stunned. What's going on? Why would the other party send such a person to fight? They were puzzled. An early 4th Heavenly Layer Sage wasn't weak. In the outside world he could definitely sweep away everything and make countless people tremble. However, in the Holy City he wasn't the strongest. He was the middle power. In their opinion, to deal with a head disciple like Lin Xian, the other party would definitely send a late 4th Heavenly Layer or even a 5th Heavenly Layer Sage to kill him in one blow. They were already prepared to deal with all kinds of dangers at any time, but they didn't expect the other party to send such a person. The battle ended quickly. Lin Xian was victorious and the 4th Heaven Sage was defeated. The crowd below cried out in alarm. Fighting against someone of a higher cultivation level? These people were all crazy. Could it be Lin Wudi? Normally, even if a genius was able to surpass a level, it would only be by a small realm. For example, when an early stage cultivator fought against a middle stage cultivator, how could a 3rd heaven cultivator fight against a 4th heaven cultivator? This was something that only top geniuses could do. Next, another level 4 expert made his move. In the end, he was still defeated. Even those people from the Thunder God realm clasped their fists and said, "Young Master Lin's strength is something we admire." However, following that, the people from Thunder God City started to attack again. This time, it was a middle stage 4th Heavenly Layer cultivator who was also defeated. Thunder God Chengdu had lost 3 matches in a row. It could be said that his momentum had been suppressed to the extreme. On the side of Peerless City, although they were excited, the elders were frowning. What was Lei Ching doing? The faces of the people below were filled with shock. Lin Wudi was too strong. However, the elders were also puzzled. It shouldn't be like this. These people were much weaker than Di Ling. Di Ling was a late-stage 4th Heavenly Layer cultivator with countless divine abilities, but he still couldn't defeat Lin Wudi. How could the people from Thunder God City not understand this point? Not good, I'm afraid it's a trap. Some people were shocked. The elders of Peerless City also thought of this point. They first used 3 victories to confuse Lin Xian, making him lose his mind with victory. Then they would use the real killing move. If it was really like this, then Thunder God City was too despicable and vicious. They wanted to stop it, but at this time the people from Thunder God City started to move. 3 victories were enough to confuse this kid. Next he would be miserable. The people from Thunder God City sneered in their hearts. The martial artist who went up was also a middle stage 4th Heavenly Layer Sage, but this was only his cultivation on the surface. His real cultivation was at the late stage 4th Heavenly Layer, and he had already cultivated Thunder God Chang's secret technique. His strength was definitely incomparably strong. Moreover, he attacked the opponent unexpectedly, so he definitely wasn't prepared. "Young Master Lin, please advise me." The person who walked up had a human face, but his ears were pointed. Clearly, he wasn't from the human race but one of the 10,000 ancient races. His name was Pan Ma. Pan Ma had a smile on his face at this moment, looking like he was just exchanging pointers. However, he was sneering in his heart. "Kid, let me personally trample you under my feet. When the time comes, I want to see what kind of expression these people from Peerless City will have." "Well said." Lin Xian nodded slightly as if he wasn't prepared at all. Both sides exchanged blows, and the fight was earth-shattering. However, from the looks of it, Lin Xian still had the upper hand. Pan Ma bitterly persevered, and he could be defeated at any time. Everyone was shocked. This Lin Wuti was very strong. However, those elders from Peerless City felt their hearts beating wildly. On the side of Thunder God City, they revealed a trace of malevolence. It was about time. At the 20th move, it looked like Pan Ma was going to be defeated. However, at this time, his palm suddenly formed a seal. Countless laws condensed in his hand, forming a treasure bottle. That was a purple treasure bottle. It was sparkling and translucent like a precious jade. On top of it, there were flames and lightning revolving around it. Thunder God City was famous for its lightning laws. Those who entered Thunder God City would cultivate this lightning law. Of course, it was impossible for a sage to only have one law. Especially some top geniuses, they would have 2 or 3 laws in their hands. Lightning was just one of them. For example, the treasure bottle in Pan Ma's hand not only had lightning laws, but also fire laws. When this purple treasure bottle appeared, a violent aura filled the 9 heavens and 10 earths, causing many people to tremble. Even those late-stage 4th heavenly layer people's faces changed drastically. Damn it, what's going on? This aura? What's going on with this person? There's a problem. At this moment, everyone was stunned. This was definitely not an ordinary middle-stage 4th heavenly layer. This was a powerful genius, and he had a terrifying divine ability in his hands. It's over. Lin Wuti is going to be in danger. On the side of Peerless City, their faces also changed. Damn it, purple lightning treasure bottle. This was a great divine ability. Lightning and fire intertwined, and the violent power surpassed everything. Thunder God City was too despicable. They were extremely anxious. Lin Xian must not be careless. Shi Bufan and the rest were also extremely nervous. Would Lin Wuti be defeated? If it was a head-on battle, he would definitely not. However, if it was a surprise attack, he would definitely be injured. Brother Lin. Shen Jingxiu's heart was extremely nervous. Kid, go and die. Pan Ma took out the purple lightning treasure bottle and aimed it at Lin Xian. Purple lightning and terrifying flames intertwined, forming a ray of light that rushed forward. Heaven fell and earth cracked. Not good. The power was above their imagination. Everyone screamed. Lin Xian's eyes also burst into a cold smile. Was he finally going to make a move? Chapter 37:12. He seemed to be careless, but he had always been careful because he knew that Thunder God City would never let him go. Finally, he felt the danger. This purple lightning Aquarius was indeed very strong. However, it was impossible to injure him. With a wave of his hand, the stellar transposition was executed. The mysterious power caused this terrifying divine ability to deviate from its direction. It flew to his left. With a swoosh, the meteor shower sank and countless black holes appeared. This terrifying power shocked everyone. However, everyone's expression was extremely strange. Even the people from Wushuang City were stunned. The people from Thunder God City were also stupefied. What was going on? That place was very far away from Lin Xian. Even if there was an impact, it would only be the aftermath of the energy. It wouldn't be able to injure him. Pan Ma was also stunned. What happened? How could he miss? Lin Xian pretended to be scared. He heaved a sigh of relief. Aya, what a terrifying power. I didn't expect you to be a hidden expert. However, your eyesight doesn't seem to be very good. You can actually miss at such a close distance. I have to say, I really admire you. Lin Xian looked worried and scared. Then he looked very impressed. This made Pan Ma so angry that he almost vomited blood. Damn it. He roared, and the purple lightning Aquarius attacked again. However, these attacks also missed. Lin Xian just stood there and waved his finger. Those light laws left his body as if they were purposely avoiding him. In the starry sky around him, various black holes appeared as if they were going to devour the world. What's going on? Everyone was stunned. Lin Xian smiled. Seems like your eyesight is really bad. Damn it, how is this possible? Pan Ma was also stunned. My eyesight is bad? What kind of joke is this? Even if I'm blind, it's impossible for me to miss just by using my soul. What's going on? The elder from Thunder God City asked. Pan Ma said, I don't know how strange this kid is. I'll try to get closer. He quickly flew forward. The purple fire Aquarius in his hand flickered with terrifying light. Buzz! Lin Xian punched out. The great dragon sword spirit let out a resonant roar as it punched out, causing the heavens and earth to shatter. With a bang, the purple flaming bottle was shattered. Not good. Pan Ma's expression changed drastically. He wanted to retreat, but the punch was too sudden. Furthermore, he was closing the distance between him and his opponent. He was completely unprepared. In a hurry, his treasured vase was shattered, and he could only use his hands to block in front of him. The precepts of fire and the precepts of thunder intertwined on his arms like two heavenly shields, trying to block the punch. With a boom, he felt as if a huge mountain had crashed into him. Then, his arm was directly broken and twisted in a strange position. Not only that, but the power wasn't done yet. It rushed directly into his body. His internal organs were all shattered. His body also caved in and many large cracks appeared. Lin Xian withdrew his hand. He stood there, an expanse of primal chaos in front of him. Natural laws pervaded the air, leaving one shaken. The surrounding people were stunned. They didn't expect Lin Xian to suddenly make a move. Moreover, it was such a powerful blow. He crippled a hidden expert on the opposite side. Your eyesight is really bad. You don't even know how to dodge such a big fist. Lin Xian said indifferently. What was going on? The surrounding people went crazy. The elders of Wuxia City heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that they were overthinking. This kid was much smarter than they thought. Did he win? One punch. The people of Wuxia City were shocked. Shi Bufan's hair stood on end. He was also a close combat expert, but that punch just now made him feel as if he was facing a great enemy. Fortunately, he wasn't Lin Xian's opponent, but his companion. Big brother Lin Xian is too awesome. Xin Jingqiu cheered. On the opposite side, Pan Ma stood up in the ruins with difficulty. At this moment, there were still large cracks on his body. Although they were healing, it was still a shocking sight. Especially half of his body, which was dyed red with blood. His face was even more ferocious. Damn kid, you tricked me. He wasn't a fool. He naturally knew that the other party had hidden his strength before. When he was careless, the other party launched a surprise attack. As expected, he fell into the trap. Lin Xian laughed. If you want to play, I'll naturally play with you. However, if you want to say that I'm sinister, it's a bit too much. Didn't you want to use the same method to deal with me? Damn it. Pan Ma's pupils shrank. The faces of the people of Thunder God City instantly darkened. Their plan was completely exposed in front of the other party. Not only that, the other party actually beat them at their own game and seriously injured one of their geniuses. Damn it, this kid is really too despicable. At this moment, the people of Thunder God City felt that they were slapped in the face. Pan Ma, come back. Since you're already exposed, it's useless to continue fighting. Pan Ma was unwilling. However, when he moved his body, all his internal organs were bleeding from pain. He knew that he was injured and couldn't continue fighting. With a dark face, he returned to the camp. Lin Xian asked indifferently, "Does your Thunder God City still have anyone to teach? If not, then I'll go back. We still have to continue with our initiation ceremony." Lin Xian looked like he was about to leave. No, the people of Thunder God City were anxious. It wasn't easy to get the other party to come out. How could they give up such a rare opportunity? Since the conspiracy didn't work, then let's do it openly. Elder, let me go. Lei Chong couldn't bear it anymore. He didn't wait for the elder to speak and directly rushed over. The people of Thunder God City wanted to stop him, but it was already too late. The surroundings were in an uproar. Lei Chong wanted to go himself? Heavens, isn't this too inconceivable? Lin Wudi definitely wouldn't fight. That's for sure. Lei Chong wasn't a newcomer, but a disciple of the previous generation. Moreover, his strength was shocking. A fifth-layer saint, that kid couldn't possibly fight someone 2 levels above him. Kid, do you dare to fight with me? I'll give you a handicap of 1 hand. Lei Chong descended from the sky and looked down at Lin Xian. Phew. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. You lost to me and you still have the face to challenge me? Previously in the Eastern Tomb world, I defeated you with 1 move. Lin Xian's voice spread out, causing an uproar. What? Lei Chong was defeated by him. Defeated in 1 move. Impossible, right? Everyone went crazy. Lei Chong was in existence even more terrifying than Di Ling. Moreover, his divine abilities were incomparably terrifying. Those older generation experts weren't his match. However, he was actually defeated by Lin Wudi? This Lin Wudi was too heaven-defying, right? Impossible, that Lin Wudi must be bragging. That's right, this was a provocation. He was deliberately provoking the other party. Some people didn't believe it. However, there were also some older generation experts who sucked in a breath of cold air. It was very likely to be true. Did you forget that Lei Chong directly challenged Lin Wuti as soon as he arrived? There was no enmity between the two sides. Why would he challenge him? When these words came out, those who didn't believe it felt their scalps go numb. Indeed, this possibility was very big. They really couldn't believe that a third-layer saint could defeat a fifth-layer saint in one move. Chapter 37:13. Lei Chong was enraged when he heard that. Lightning surged all over his body. Kid, you're talking nonsense. I was careless when you used poison. Everyone was in an uproar when they heard that. Could it be that Lei Chong had really suffered in the hands of Lin Fan? If an expert loses, then so be it. There's no such thing as carelessness. Lin Xian shook his head. You have a bad mentality. If I defeat you again this time, will you vomit blood in anger? For your safety, you'd better step down. He waved his hand impatiently. Lei Chong was furious. He gritted his teeth and white smoke came out of his nose. Say that after you defeat me. He turned into a bolt of lightning and rushed over. So fast. Before the crowd could see clearly, Lei Chong had already arrived beside Lin Xian. Not good. The expressions of the Peerless City elders changed drastically. Lei Chong doesn't know the rules. Some of the second-generation disciples were about to attack, but at that moment Lin Xian roared. I'm not afraid of you. His voice shook heaven and earth. The laws of the five forms rushed out from his body and collided with the opponent's lightning. A terrifying explosion shook the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Many people were stunned and almost fainted. Some even knelt on the ground in fear. The surrounding spectators retreated crazily. It was not that there had never been a battle between geniuses before, but it was so thrilling. The moment the two of them attacked, they could not withstand it. There's no need to attack first. That kid should be able to do it, Fu Hongye said. The second-generation disciples of Peerless City were stunned. Can he really withstand it? They did not quite believe it. In front of them, Lei Chong used his ultimate move. The terrifying aura of the Tao of Lightning trembled. The sharp sword in his hand swept in all directions. Lin Xian used his fists and legs. Every kick caused the earth to shatter, and every punch caused heaven and earth to shake. He smashed onto the sword chi, causing the sword chi to be blown away. None of them could get close to his body. The two of them were extremely fast. Wherever they passed, the void would constantly crack. None of them were intact. As expected of a fifth heaven sage. He's really too strong. The other geniuses were also shocked. Shi Bufan, Jitue Tiancheng, and the rest looked as if they were facing a great enemy. They felt that they had no chance of winning against Lei Chong. Di Ling was also horrified. If he did not send out the ancient corpse, he would not be Lei Chong's opponent. However, what made them even more terrified was that Lin Xian was actually able to contend with someone like Lin Xian. Not falling into a disadvantageous position, it was really too shocking. Was this the strength of the number one? Was this the battle prowess of the chief disciple? It was really too shocking. At this moment, all the suspicions they had towards Lin Xian had disappeared without a trace. He was like a tyrannosaurus in human form. His opponent was too strong, so strong that even Lei Chong's face was filled with shock. He didn't hold back. With his combat strength, he could contend with a fifth-layer saint in the middle stage. But now, a third-layer saint was actually locked in a battle with him. He felt humiliated. Damn it. Go to hell. Lei Chong roared. His palm was filled with laws, forming a lightning cane. He slammed it down. It enveloped Lin Xian below. Lin Xian was still not afraid. His 9-yang divine body emitted light, and the black Qilin tattoo on his body did not let out any Qilin roar. He used his strong physique to resist the opponent's thunderous palm. No way. Why didn't he dodge? Many people saw this scene and their eyes were wide open. Even the experts of the older generation felt their scalps go numb. In the face of such a shocking attack, they had no choice but to temporarily avoid it. But now Lin Wuti actually faced the attack head-on. Was his physique that strong? Wushuang City's people were worried. The Rain Clan's people were ferocious. Great. This kid is an idiot. Let him die. The Thunder God City's people were also roaring. This kid was too arrogant. In their opinion, the opponent's battle prowess was strong, but his defense could not keep up. This was a fifth-layer saint's attack. If the opponent was hit head-on, he would definitely be torn apart. Boom. The sound of the earth shaking resounded. The thunder palm ruthlessly fell, completely enveloping Lin Xian. Ah! The Rain Clan's people and the Thunder God City's people all let out carefree laughter. Lei Chong also had a sinister expression. Had he finally personally dealt with the opponent? But soon he was stunned. Something was wrong. His thunder palm was torn apart and a figure rushed out. He broke through. The opponent came out. How was this possible? Everyone was stunned. Lei Chong was dumbfounded. The Rain Clan's people were ashen. Even the Wuxia City's people were stunned. Previously they were sweating for Lin Xian. But now it seemed that their worries were unnecessary. Lin Xian's physique was not inferior to a fifth-layer saint. Kill. Lin Xian clenched his left hand into a fist. His right hand drew a sword of law and slashed out. Terrifying sword chi weaved between heaven and earth. It made Lei Chong retreat step by step. Lei Chong roared, "Get lost." He opened his hands. Thunder slowly rolled down, forming a sea of thunder. Lin Xian retreated. His body was trembling but he was not injured. The strength of his physique was beyond everyone's imagination. Thunder God's finger. Lei Chong launched another attack. He finally displayed the Thunder God's completion, an extremely terrifying divine ability. This was a powerful divine ability, the Thunder God's finger. The law of thunder filled the sky. The void split open and a finger of thunder with mysterious patterns fell from the sky, pointing at Lin Xian's body. Not good. This is a peerless divine ability. Many people cried out in alarm. The Thunder God City's people clenched their fists. Had he finally displayed his ultimate skill? The Wuxia City's people became nervous again. This kind of ultimate skill was something they had to face with full concentration. Bus. Lin Xian coldly snorted. Golden light erupted from his eyes, turning into a Qilin shield, blocking in front of him. The Thunder God's finger collided with the black shield, producing a shocking sound. The void shattered, spreading out in all directions. Could it be blocked? Everyone was shocked. In the next moment they realized that it was blocked. What kind of shield is that? Is it a saint weapon? It doesn't look like it. It's a divine ability. Everyone was stunned. Isn't this divine ability too terrifying? It's an eye technique. Shui Tianchen's pupils shrank. He was too shocked. He was an expert in eye techniques. Naturally, he could feel the aura of the Qilin shield. He also knew how to use an eye technique to defend himself. However, compared to Lin Xian's Qilin shield, it was too weak. Not only was this guy's physique strong, but his soul was also terrifying. Lei Chong was thoroughly enraged. Black wind danced wildly, his eyes were like lightning, and the law of thunder kept surging out from his body. Apart from that, he also displayed the law of wind and the law of gold. The three great laws were displayed together. It was unparalleled. At this moment, everyone was shocked. Lei Chong was too strong. However, after a long battle, Lei Chong kept vomiting blood. One of his arms was even destroyed. Chapter 37:14. Lin Xian was even more powerful. His fighting strength had reached the extreme. The great dragon sword spirit roared, causing Lin Xian's every move to be extremely powerful. Lei Tsong was beaten to the point of vomiting blood. With another long roar, Lin Xian turned into a sword light. He was like a giant dragon, like a Qilin, traversing through the sky. He directly tore Lei Tsong into pieces. Everyone was dumbfounded. Being injured and being torn apart were two different concepts. Being injured might be a light injury, but having one's body explode was definitely a serious injury. Sure enough, the people from Thunder God City could no longer remain calm. Lin Wudi's strength was out of their expectations. Damn it, I'm going to kill you. Lei Chong was completely enraged. He couldn't tolerate being injured by an ant. Thunder and lightning intertwined on his body. He took out a whip that had flames dancing on it that could burn everything. Many people screamed. This weapon was definitely a sacred weapon. Bus. The sacred weapon, Raging Inferno Divine Whip, lashed out in all directions, shattering the void. Lei Chong's power rose again. Damn it. Despicable, you actually used a sacred weapon. The people from Wuxia City roared crazily. This Lei Chong was a fifth celestial layer. Did he really need to use a sacred weapon to deal with a third celestial layer? He was simply too shameless. The people from Thunder God City also lost face. It was no longer a matter of victory or defeat, but they were thoroughly humiliated. One must know that there was a difference of two realms between the two sides. Logically speaking, they should be able to kill each other in one move. But now they were actually defeated. Moreover, they were forced to use a sacred weapon. If they still couldn't win, then their face would be completely lost. Elder, don't we need to stop him? The people from Thunder God City asked. They were very worried. Those elders said. No need, Lei Chong was already angry. With his means and the sacred weapon he could definitely win. That kid shouldn't be able to hold on for long. In their opinion, how could a third celestial layer sage have such strength? He must have taken some kind of pill in advance. Did he use a sacred weapon? Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes. How could he not have a sacred weapon? He had more than one saint artifact in his hand. However, he did not use any of them. Instead, he drew the unparalleled sword from his waist. This was the saint artifact that he had just obtained. It was also a symbol of his status. I'll use the unparalleled sword to defeat you. Lin Xian held the long sword in his hand as sword intent erupted from his body. Streaks of dragon-shaped sword chi danced in the sky, tearing the world apart. At this moment he was truly like a sword god, attacking powerfully. Why do I feel that he has become even stronger than before? Everyone's hearts were pounding as they watched. This kid couldn't be a peerless swordsman, right? Everyone was shocked. Following that, they discovered that as expected, Lin Xian's every strike was extremely powerful. After 5 strikes, the raging inferno divine whip was sent flying. One of Lei Chong's arms was cut off. After another 3 slashes, Lei Chong's head was chopped off. Defeated, Lei Chong was seriously injured by someone again. Everyone was shocked. The ones who had been defeated before weren't that strong. However, after bringing out his sacred artifact, Lei Chong was defeated even faster. Do you still want to fight? Lin Xian asked. Lei Chong's arm and head flew back and reconnected. His face was extremely dark. His body was fuming with anger. He couldn't do anything to the other party. He roared to the sky, his lungs bursting with anger. At the back, the elders of Thunder God City saw this scene and also said, Lei Chong, come back quickly. They could see that Lei Chong was no match for the other party. Although they didn't know what was going on, they would only be embarrassed if they continued to fight. Lin Xian also waved his hand and said, I've already said that you're no match for me. You couldn't beat me in the East Spirit world. It's funny that you still want to fight. Now you know how powerful I am. I advise you to go back quickly if you don't want to die. Sai, why is it so difficult to find an opponent? Lin Xian sighed, looking like a lonely expert. This scene made Lei Chong so angry that he was about to collapse. The others also looked strange and wanted to go up and kick him a few times. Let me see how strong you are. On Thunder God City's side, another person walked over. Lin Xian frowned. He could see that this person's strength was about the same as Lei Chong's. When he came, the other party's elders secretly gave him a few things. He should be a sacred tool. Damn it, do these guys really think that I'm easy to bully? They still want to fight with me? His face became gloomy. He was thinking whether he should be more ruthless and kill 1 or 2 of them here to intimidate them. It would also let everyone know that he, Lin Xian, was not someone who could be bullied by just anyone. The people of Wuxia City also frowned. They felt that it was not good to continue like this. Perhaps someone had some powerful trump cards. If they hurt Lin Xian, it would be really bad. They decided to make a move. At this time, a stream of light came from afar. At the same time, a cold snort sounded. Thunder God City was really shameless. They challenged again and again. How many sacred tools did they bring this time? The voice sounded between heaven and earth. Everyone was in an uproar. The people of Thunder God City changed their faces. Who dares to slander our Thunder God City? Go to hell. An elder shouted coldly and attacked the stream of light with his palm. However, that light figure dodged and turned into a woman. Thunder God City, you dare to make a move against me? Do you want to die? This voice was incomparably arrogant. It made everyone's scalp numb. There was actually someone who did not put Thunder God City in his eyes. Who was it? Thunder God City was also angry. They were already very sullen today. They were actually beaten up. Now, there was someone who dared to go against them. That elder also stood out. Who is it? Don't know life from death. Get over here. He was incomparably powerful. He wanted to kill this arrogant person with a slap. I'm here for you. Come and try to touch me. The voice rang out again. At this moment, everyone turned their heads to look. They saw a beautiful woman standing there. Her jade face was incomparably cold. Her pair of phoenix eyes were filled with biting cold killing intent. That elder laughed sinisterly and was about to make a move. However, he was stunned in the next moment. Because he saw something on that girl's body. It was a jade pendant. At the same time, his scalp numbed. It's you. He was so frightened that his whole body trembled. He quickly cupped his fist. So it's Fairy Lee. My mouth is cheap. Slap me. He did not dare to say anything else and directly retreated. The others were even more stunned. Fuck. Who is this girl? She could actually make an elder of Thunder God City so afraid. Some disciples of Thunder God City were unconvinced and wanted to go up. They felt that the girl was very young. She was only in her 20s. What qualifications did she have to be arrogant? However, the elder of Thunder God City was so angry that he vomited blood. Shut up. Get over here. Do you want to die? The elder of Thunder God City secretly transmitted his voice. He was the little princess of Divine Silkworm Ridge. Her father was a sage king. What? Everyone's scalp went numb. Someone from Divine Silkworm Ridge. Moreover, her father was a sage king. Her identity was so big that it was frightening. It was no wonder that the other party did not place their Thunder God City in their eyes at all. In fact, even their elders had to be respectful toward them. These martial artists of Thunder God City did not dare to be presumptuous anymore and retreated one by one. This scene caused the others to be even more shocked. They were all curious. Who is this young girl? Chapter 37:15. When Di Ling saw this woman, his body also trembled. Fear appeared in his eyes. Damn it, it's her. He subconsciously took a few steps back. The elders of the spirit sealing star beside him asked, "What's going on? Do you know her?" Di Ling gritted his teeth. His face was cold, but he didn't say anything. He remembered the terrifying experience. In the 1 month in the East Spirit world he was chased by this woman. She was too strong. He was chased all over the world. If he didn't have the ancient bronze corpse, he would have died in there. But even so, his ancient bronze corpse was still smashed into pieces. Phew. Lin Xian was stunned. Wasn't this Li Hongxiu? He had met her in the East Spirit world before. They were plotted against and then she went to kill Di Ling. He didn't expect her to appear here again. Moreover, he felt that this woman wasn't simple. She didn't put Thunder God City in her eyes. Her identity was frightening. You're not bad, kid. You're actually the eldest disciple. Li Hongxiu looked at Lin Xian and said with a smile. Lin Xian was surprised. Why are you here? Li Hongxiu said, I heard that Wushuang City had an entrance ceremony. I thought it was fun, so I came to take a look. In the distance, the elders of Wushuang City quickly came over and cupped their hands. Greetings, little Princess Divine Silkworm. Alright, no need for so many rules. Li Hongxiu cupped her hands. She didn't seem to like this title. Lin Xian was surprised. Heavens, did the elders of Wushuang City have to bow? What was the origin of this woman? In the distance, Shui Tianqin, Shi Bufan and the others were shocked. They didn't expect Lin Xian to know such a terrifying person. Xin Jingqiu gritted her teeth. There was a trace of jealousy in her eyes. In the surroundings, the experts of the other families were even more horrified. The 2 elders of the great sage city treated her with respect. This was enough to explain the problem. Especially the Rain clan, who was crazy. They were trembling in fear. Damn it, why? Why did that kid have such a terrifying person beside him? They were about to go crazy. Why did the ant that they looked down on exceed their imagination time and time again? Yu Shiqia's face was also full of despair. To be honest, she was about to collapse. Previously, although Lin Xian had saved her, she did not take it to heart because she felt that her future husband would definitely be favored by the heavens. At least, the imperial mausoleum was like this. Therefore, even if the family really wanted to do something back then, she wouldn't have taken a fancy to Lin Xian. But now, she wanted nothing more than to slap herself. The spirit of the mausoleum was very strong. In the end, he was still eliminated. And the man that she had looked down on was now incomparably dazzling. Even Xin Jingqiu, who used to be as famous as her, was now far ahead of her. Now, there was a peerless beauty that even frightened the elders of the holy city. Furthermore, this beauty had a mysterious relationship with Lin Xian. How could she not be shocked? Lin Xian, come back. Let's finish the entrance ceremony first, then I'll lead you back to Peerless City, the elder of Wushuang City said. Lin Xian nodded and then looked at Li Hongxiu. I still have business to attend to. I won't accompany you for now. He followed the elder and stood back. The entrance ceremony continued. Li Hongxiu walked over and watched from the side. She originally thought that it would be fun, but now it seemed that it was just some red tape and not much fun. The second-generation disciples of Peerless City were also shocked. They were all guessing who this person was. Wasn't he too bold? Some people were even unconvinced. At this moment, Fu Hongye walked over. You're really a troublesome little ancestor. I'll recommend you 2 fun worlds. Why don't you go and explore them? Li Hongxiu glanced at Fu Hongye. The two seemed to be very familiar with each other. She shook her head. Forget it, you lunatic. The places you go are all places with fierce battles. I'm not going. Moreover, I recently found a very interesting person. I think he can stir up the second astral realm. She looked at Lin Xian with a strange light in her eyes. Fu Hongye also nodded and said, "You're right. I have the same idea too. Junior brother Lin might really be able to stir up a storm. It's time to change some things." "What? Do you want to be on the list?" "Actually, I also want to be on the list. However, I'm still a little short. I need some opportunities. That place will soon be open. When I go to that place I'll make a breakthrough," Li Hongxiu said. Fu Hongye said, "I've already been to the place you're talking about. I don't plan to be on the list you're talking about. That's no longer meaningful to me. As for the higher ranking list, it's just a ranking. The most important thing is one's personal strength. I can still laugh at the world without being on the list. Oh, you people from Peerless City are really..." Li Hongxiu didn't know what to say. Fu Hongye said, "Why don't you just say it? How should I put it? As for your two eldest disciples, that Linghu Chuexue is a sword maniac. You're also a cultivation maniac. You only want to improve your personal strength. You don't even fight for the important lists. Peerless City's reputation isn't very high outside. This has a lot to do with you. You're right about this." Fu Hongye didn't want to refute. They were all focused on Dao. They didn't really want to fight for the opportunity to show their faces on some of the important rankings, so he said, "Isn't junior brother Lin coming? He'll fight for the things that we don't fight for." "Is that so? You're quite good at reading people. There's nothing wrong with that. Once the title of Lin Wudi is released, those people will come personally even if he doesn't want to fight for it. Lin Wudi is indeed an arrogant name. I wanted to beat him up the first time I heard it." The disciples of Peerless City were shocked as they watched the two of them chat. She was definitely a terrifying woman to be able to chat with their second-generation disciple for so long. On the other side, Lin Xian and the others completed the complicated entrance ceremony. They were officially the third-generation disciples of Peerless City. Next, the elders of Peerless City gave them about an hour to gather with their families. Because some of them might have entered the sacred city and would be in seclusion for a long time. They all returned to their families and began the hour of gathering. On Lin Xian's side there were no clans or clans. However, there were countless experts and clans flocking over. "I have a treasure here for young Master Lin. I hope you won't treat me as an outsider. Young Master Lin, this is my granddaughter. She's a very good maid. You can take her with you and use her as a maid. Young Master Lin, this is a divine sword for you." These people were all here to give him a treasure, but to be exact, they were here to hug Lin Xian's leg. Chapter 37:16. These people were more than the total number of people who went to the Rain Clan, Spirit Sealing Star, and Fiend Star. It couldn't be helped. The current Lin Xian was like the sun in the sky, extremely dazzling. There were even some minor saints who came, shocking everyone. Such existences had very high statuses. Could it be that they also wanted to rope in Lin Xian? Sure enough, these minor saints also extended some olive branches, wanting to build a good relationship with Lin Xian. There were even some who wanted to make friends with the mysterious girl Li Hongxiu through Lin Xian. It could be said that at this moment Lin Xian's limelight overshadowed everything. Lin Xian accepted all the treasures given to him without hesitation. Everyone knew how to put on a show. Lin Xian chatted very enthusiastically with these people, causing them to be overjoyed. "That's great." Next, Lin Xian walked forward again. Everyone followed. Soon they saw that Lin Xian had arrived in front of the Rain Clan. The people of the Rain Clan were shocked. Although they couldn't wait to kill Lin Xian, they didn't dare to do so. The patriarch of the Rain Clan came personally. "Young Master Lin, what can I do for you?" "Oh, it's nothing. I just came to take a look," Lin Xian said indifferently. He didn't say anything special. On the other hand, the people of the Rain Clan felt even more pressure. The reason for that was because countless gazes were focused on them. The patriarch of the Rain Clan gritted his teeth and said hurriedly, "We also prepared a generous gift to congratulate young Master Lin." He took out a storage ring and handed it over. This thing was originally prepared for Di Ling. In their opinion, Di Ling was definitely the chief disciple. They wanted to build a good relationship between both sides. Now they didn't expect that this thing would be given to Lin Xian. Lin Xian was their enemy. But they had no choice but to lower their heads. "All right, thank you." Lin Xian accepted it with a smile. Next, he went to the Fiend Star and Wind Spirit Star. The people of these two worlds were also forced to take out some gifts. Lin Xian returned from a rewarding journey. The people of Thunder God City retreated. They left with shock and unwillingness. They knew that today's matter would definitely become the laughingstock of everyone. However, they swore that this matter was not over. There would be plenty of time in the future. The blow they received here would definitely be returned in other places. There was also Lin Wudi. They would remember this. They would definitely not let this person grow. On Lin Xian's side, they gathered again and teleported away from the starry sky to Matchless City. After entering Wuxia City, they were welcomed. Soon, someone led them to their respective areas. The hundreds of ordinary disciples had their own areas, while the 49 core disciples had their own areas. The place where Lin Xian lived was very good. Top-grade spirit veins occupied a large area. It was like a small kingdom, and Lin Xian was the king of this hell. He could mobilize anyone in this region and use any resources he wanted. Not only that, because he was the chief disciple, his identity in the entire Matchless City was not ordinary. The resources he could enjoy were really amazing. He could even read some ancient books and secret techniques. Shen Jingxiu's cave residence was next to Lin Xian's. It was also magnificent. After all, she was the second most likely to become the disciple of the Saint King. In addition, there was also Water Sky City, Shibufan, Wang Xiaofeng, and others nearby. They could be said to be neighbors. Big Brother Lin. Shen Jingxiu flew over as soon as she was done with her business. Because she was afraid that the purple-haired girl would snatch Lin Xian away. When she arrived, she found that there was only Lin Xian in the cave residence. Where was that woman? Shen Jingxiu asked vigilantly. Oh, you mean Li Hongxiu? She went somewhere else. She probably went to find Fu Hongye. That woman has a great background. I can't go to some forbidden areas, but she can. What is her identity? Shen Jingxiu was also curious. At this moment, a few figures walked over from afar. It was Shi Shuiqin, Shi Bufan, Wang Xiaofeng, and the others. They also came to visit Lin Xian. After all, Lin Xian would be their senior brother in the future. They still needed Lin Xian to take care of them. Moreover, they also wanted to befriend him. At this moment, when they heard Shen Jingxiu's question, they were also curious. After meeting their senior brother, they first asked, "Yes, senior brother Lin, what is that woman's identity?" Lin Xian said, "I don't know the details. I only know that our elder calls her the Little Princess Divine Silkworm." Little Princess Divine Silkworm. Could she be from the Divine Silkworm Ridge? Shi Shui Tianqing exclaimed. Sima Fan was also surprised. Even Shen Jingxiu was shocked. Lin Xian asked, "You know?" They nodded. They knew that Lin Xian came from the first astral realm. He might not be too familiar with some of the top forces and legends of the second astral realm. He said, "If we guessed correctly, the Little Princess Divine Silkworm should be referring to the Divine Silkworm Ridge." The Divine Silkworm Ridge was very terrifying. It was a clan that had produced an ancient emperor. It was on par with the dragons, the Qilin clan, and the Phoenix clan. So powerful? Lin Xian was surprised. A clan that had produced an ancient emperor was an emperor clan. Thinking about it, this should be a bloodline of the emperor clan. However, this was also very shocking. No wonder the elders of the holy city had to be respectful when they saw her. Indeed, her background was terrifying. The few of them chatted. Not long after, a second-generation disciple came over and invited Lin Xian and the others to comprehend Wuxuang's secret technique. Lin Xian and the others were extremely excited. They didn't expect to be able to comprehend Wuxuang City's secret technique so soon after they arrived. Everyone followed the second-generation disciple and went forward. Wuxuang City was very big. After flying for about half an hour, they arrived at their destination. This was a place that had been transformed. The mountains had been flattened, and it was a vast plain. On the plain there were palaces and pavilions. There weren't many of them, but Lin Xian could see that there was a huge array protecting this place. This should be a place where divine abilities were stored. Lin Xian and the others were led into a hall. There were many ancient books inside that recorded divine abilities. They were very terrifying. There were also some secret techniques that Lin Xian and the others could read here. Of course, the most important thing was the core of Wuxuang City, the Wuxuang secret technique. This was a secret technique that only Wuxuang City had. This was a special technique that could increase one's combat strength in a short period of time. It was an unparalleled attack. Everyone was incomparably surprised, especially Lin Xian. His great dragon sword soul specialized in attacking saint techniques. Therefore, although his realm was low, his combat strength was strong. He was even stronger than an ordinary fifth heaven saint. He didn't expect that he would be able to learn Wuxuang's secret technique now. However, when he saw Wushuang's secret technique, he realized that there was still a difference between the two. The Great Dragon Sword Soul allowed Lin Xian's every move and move to be far more powerful than those of the same level. It wasn't a problem for him to even fight those of a higher level. And this Wushuang's secret technique was even more magical. It could allow one to instantly erupt several times more strength. Of course, it was only for an instant. Chapter 37:17. However, this was already enough. One had to know that in a battle between experts what they competed for was half a move. If one could win with another move, then the advantage would be huge. It was even rumored that the unparalleled secret technique could unleash 10 times more combat power than oneself. Of course, the duration was even shorter. It was said that the unparalleled secret technique was incomplete. It was modified by countless saints, but it was already very terrifying. This was the foundation of the holy city. Lin Xian and the others were wild with joy. If they learned this secret technique, then they would definitely have a very powerful trump card. Lin Xian could use it together with the Great Dragon Sword Soul. Xin Jingqiu was also happy. She could also use this unparalleled secret technique together with her spirit body. Shui Tiancheng and the others were also very excited. Everyone could not wait to cultivate and comprehend. Just like that, half a year passed. On this day, Lin Xian opened his eyes. His body was already covered in dust. The moment he opened his eyes, all the dust had disappeared. He stood up with a look of surprise. He had already grasped the initial stage of this unparalleled secret technique. The elders of Peerless City were shocked. You really grasped the initial stage? How long has it been? Half a year and he has already grasped it? One had to know that not to mention half a year, it was already very impressive to grasp it in 8 to 10 years. This was called a secret technique. Was this kid a monster? Or was he bragging? Elder, I really grasped it and it's only the initial stage. There's no need to be so shocked, right? Lin Xian scratched his head. He had indeed grasped the initial stage because he had the Great Dragon Sword Soul. This kind of offensive saint technique could be said to be handy when practicing the unparalleled secret technique. The elders of Peerless City did not believe it and wanted Lin Xian to demonstrate. When Lin Xian activated 5 times his combat power, this elder looked as if he had seen a ghost. Heavens, did he really grasp it? This movement also woke Xin Jingqiu and the others up. When they learned about it, they were also shocked. To be honest, they had only grasped a little bit of it, but Lin Xian had already grasped the initial stage. The gap was too big. Chiu, you can cultivate here first. I have some matters to attend to, so I'll leave first. Lin Xian explained. He was indeed preparing to leave. He wanted to go to a place and that was the Fiend Star. He had not forgotten that the dark red mystical dragon and the North Demon were trapped on the malevolent planet. He was going to save them now. Brother Lin, where are you going? Chiu is going too. Xin Jingqiu was a little reluctant. The place I'm going to is very far away. If you want to cross the fog of death, you should cultivate here first. Don't worry, I'm not in any danger. Xin Jingqiu nodded obediently. Shui Tianchen and the others were shocked. What was Lin Xian trying to do? Was he going back to the first astral boundary? Even the elders from Wushuang City frowned. You've just arrived at Saint City, so you should hurry up and cultivate. After a few years he would go out again. I can't wait any longer. Elder, I have some friends who are trapped on the Fiend Star. I have to save them. Fiend Star? Elder Wushuang was shocked. That place is too dangerous. No, I have to report it. Wait here. He went to report it. Soon someone came. The person who came was Fu Hongye. Junior brother Lin, you're going to the Fiend Star? Fu Hongye asked. Lin Xian nodded. My friends are there. I have to save them. All right, I won't stop you. Take this. Fu Hongye took out a token. It was a silver token with a fiend's face drawn on it. What was that? Lin Xian was shocked. Fu Hongye said that he had saved someone in the past. Later that person went to the Fiend Star. He was indebted to me, so he gave me this token. When the time comes, take this token and find someone called Akuan. He can help you. Thank you, senior brother. Lin Xian took the silver token and said goodbye to everyone. He left Wushuang City. He boarded the Black Earth and flew at full speed. Lin Xian was a little impatient. He wondered how the Dark Red Divine Dragon and Northern Devil were doing on the Fiend Star. With their talent and strength, they should be able to survive on the Fiend Star. On the other side, the families had returned. The matter of Wushuang City quickly spread throughout the second astral realm. Lin Xian and Lin Wudi's names had spread. Everyone knew that Wushuang City had accepted such a powerful chief disciple. He was only at the 3rd celestial layer, but he had defeated a fifth celestial layer genius. This made countless people exclaim in shock. Lei Xinqing's expression was ugly. They had really lost this time. They had lost face. The Rain clan's faces were ashen. They had provoked such a powerful enemy. Moreover, their young master Qinya had died inside. After returning to the clan, the Rain clan's people gritted their teeth. That damned Lin Wudi. Those elders also said that they suspected that young master Qinya's death was related to that Lin Wudi. However, what could they do? The other party was now the chief disciple of Wushuang City. They were no match for him. Reporting to the patriarch, Di Ling and the people of Spirit Sealing Star had arrived. Outside, a disciple reported. As soon as these words came out, the Rain clan was shocked. Where are they? The Rain clan's patriarch asked quickly. They were outside. The Rain clan's patriarch exclaimed. Quickly invite them in. Soon several figures walked in. They were the elders of Spirit Sealing Star. Apart from them there was also Di Ling. I wonder why you all came here? Please have a seat. The Rain clan's patriarch said with a smile. The other elders also had respectful looks on their faces. We came here to join hands. I'm going to join hands to kill Lin Wudi. As soon as Di Ling spoke, everyone was shocked. Kill Lin Wudi? Those elders' hearts were beating wildly. There were also some people who were overjoyed. This Lin Wudi was too arrogant. He actually dared to plot against our young master. The elders of Yu Qinya's lineage were all gnashing their teeth. They had lost such a genius. How could they possibly swallow this anger? Di Ling said, I also want to kill him, so I came to join hands with you all. The Rain clan's patriarch was also shocked. Di Ling was a top genius. Although he didn't join Wushuang City, no one looked down on his strength. It could only be said that his luck was bad. Otherwise he would definitely be a core disciple. He might even be in existence that could compete for the chief disciple position. It wasn't impossible for such a person to join hands with them. Alright, we have to discuss this matter properly. The Rain clan was also prepared to join hands. Next, both sides began a long discussion. A few days later, the elders of Spirit Sealing Star returned. It seemed that they were preparing for the follow-up. However, Di Ling didn't leave. He still stayed in the Rain clan. The one who received him was Yu Shurqia. This was the wish of the elders of both sides. If they could let these two young people walk together, then the two forces could be considered to have completely joined hands. The people of the Rain clan also hoped for this. If Di Ling and Yu Shurqia were to marry, they would completely hug the thigh of Spirit Sealing Star. This was the best situation for now. Please recommend. Monthly votes, subscriptions, collections, rewards. Chapter 37:18. Yu Shurqia's heart died. In order to avenge her brother, she was prepared to marry Di Ling. Of course, she had a precondition. Di Ling had to kill Lin Xian before she could marry him. Before that, she wouldn't let him touch her. Half a month later, news suddenly spread. There were two pieces of news. The first piece of news was that the Fiend Star had dug out something from the void ocean. It was very incredible. Some experts of the family were preparing to go there. The second piece of news was that someone had discovered Lin Xian's traces. That news caused the people from the Rain clan to be incomparably shocked. Especially Di Ling, whose eyes emitted a biting cold radiance. Was the news true? To be honest, they didn't believe it. How long had it been? He had joined Wushuang City and should be in seclusion to cultivate his lost techniques. How could he appear outside? It should be true because many people had seen his traces. Where was he? Diwan asked. The elders of the Rain clan also had anxious expressions on their faces. The martialist below said respectfully as he knelt on the ground. He had been attacked by sea demons in the void ocean. Many people were affected. Among them was a black spirit boat. Lin Wudi walked out from it. Void ocean? What was he doing in the void ocean? Everyone was shocked. They couldn't understand why he would run out here instead of cultivating in the holy city. Moreover, he was going to the void ocean. At this time Yu Shurqia said, I remember now. When they came from the first star realm, they had several companions with them. But later when I found him, he was alone. Maybe this time he went to find his companions. Are you sure? The elders were shocked. They had never heard of this news. Yu Shurqia nodded. It was absolutely true. He might have gone to the Fiend Star because it was the people from the Fiend Star who had attacked them. This was great. They could finally kill him. Di Ling revealed a malevolent smile. The Rain clan's elders also smiled maliciously. We originally planned to go to the Fiend Star. Now we can catch him on the way. How about this? Young Master Di Ling, you and Shirche go to the Fiend Star first. We'll send people to kill him on the way there. We're closer. A Rain Clan's elder's eyes flashed with a cold killing intent. Di Ling thought about it. All right, then I'll have to trouble you. 3 days later they were ready to depart. Di Ling went back to prepare. You Shirche stayed behind. She asked why Di Ling didn't attack. The elders looked and set up a formation. That brat was only at the 3rd celestial layer, but he was so strong. He must have some secrets on him. We need to capture him alive and get his secrets. The eyes of these elders shone with a cold light. Yushirche also understood that such a secret was definitely extraordinary. It might even cause a huge commotion. If they wanted to monopolize it, they naturally couldn't let Di Ling do it. Okay, I got it. I will stay by Di Ling's side for the next few days. I will not let him do anything. Yushirche made her decision. Everyone began to move. Lin Xian was also affected. He flew all the way to the Void Sea, but he was attacked a few days after entering the sea. It was a huge shark as big as a mountain. Its body was thousands of meters long, and it was stirring up the seawater. One of the fog ships was attacked. Lin Xian happened to pass by and was also affected. He walked out of the Black Earth. This was also why someone was able to discover his tracks. However, he soon took a detour. He didn't take the fog ship now because his Black Earth was already a saint artifact. Moreover, he had cultivated Taiji extinction. He didn't fear the fog of the Sea of Death. He could enter alone. Lin Xian cultivated as he flew. At the same time, there were several figures in the depths of the Void Sea. There were 6 figures in total. They were in a spirit ship, floating there as if waiting for something. Will that brat come? A middle-aged man in the spirit ship asked with a frown. He was a 5th celestial layer saint. Beside him were several others. 3 of them were 5th celestial layer saints and 2 were minor saints. Such a lineup was extremely powerful. It wouldn't be a problem for them to kill other minor saints. He will definitely come. We have already set up a trail. If he wants to go to the Fiend planet, this is the place he must pass. Since he is here, we will let him know what it means to live a life worse than death. Another old man sneered sinisterly. Don't kill him. We still need the secrets on him. If we can get them, our Rain clan will be able to improve again. Speaking until here, these people laughed. Their eyes were shining with a piercing cold light. With such a large team, no matter how talented the other party was, he would definitely die. These people were from the Rain clan. After they received the news, they quickly rushed over to kill the other party. Lin Xian didn't know about this. He was cultivating at the moment with a leaf of Tao comprehending tea in his mouth. There were many divine crystals around him. He was cultivating while comprehending the great Tao of heaven and earth. The speed of the Black Earth was very fast. Lin Xian was in a hurry. Therefore he was like lightning traveling through the sea. It's coming. On this day these people of the Rain clan stood up one after another. Their eyes were shining with a piercing cold light. They could feel a spirit ship coming over quickly. The speed was so fast that it shocked them. Even the 2 small saints were surprised. Judging from the speed, it should be a saint item. A flying spirit ship was a saint item. It was really rare. This kid's body was full of treasures. Don't worry, these things will be ours soon. Get ready to attack. Activate the formation to trap him. The 2 small saints gave the order. The other 4 5th heavenly layer saints moved quickly. They left the spirit ship and hid in the void ocean. Their palms formed a seal. The formation lit up, forming a seal that sealed the world. Countless chains spread out and wrapped around the Black Earth. The Black Earth shook. Lin Xian opened his eyes. He spat out the leaf of Tao comprehending tea and put it away. Then he asked, "What's going on?" Hei Tu floated over and said, "We're under attack. Someone is attacking us." "Is it a demonic beast?" Taking a detour, Lin Xian frowned. It seemed that there were quite a lot of demonic beasts in the void ocean. Hei Tu said, "It's not a demonic beast. It seems to be sealed by a formation." Formation? Boom. Lin Xian gave the order. The Black Earth shone brightly. Countless black lights appeared on its body and shattered all the chains on it. Buzz. It turned into a stream of light and crashed into the seal. With a loud bang, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The seal shook and countless cracks appeared. Damn it, it's so strong. The faces of the people of the Rain clan changed. I'm definitely getting this spirit boat. Killing intent burst out from the eyes of a small saint. Chapter 37:19. With a wave of his hand he launched an earth-shattering attack. A huge palm pressed down on the black earth, holding it down. Kid, come out and face your death. At the same time, a roar resounded between heaven and earth. Lin Xian frowned. Without waiting for He Tu to say anything, he came out of the black earth and looked forward. There were shadows in front of him. Their auras were monstrous. Obviously they were experts. What was going on? Someone was attacking him. Who was it? Did they not want to live anymore? One must know. His current identity was not ordinary. But even so, there were still people attacking him. Was it someone from the Thunder God City who made a move? He first thought of Thunder God City. Perhaps only Thunder God Cheng would dare to attack him. After all, he had slapped Thunder God Cheng's face. Thunder God Cheng must be furious. It's really you. The shadow opposite him let out a surprised laugh. As he strode forward, the surrounding void and seawater surrounded him, making him look like a god of the sea. There were also people walking out from the other three directions, completely surrounding Lin Xian. Lin Xian frowned. Who are you people? He discovered that there was no lightning aura on them. Instead, there was a terrifying water energy that could even move the surrounding sea. Are you people from the Rain Clan? He instantly thought of a clan with such power. It was the Rain Clan. However, he did not believe that the Rain Clan would be so daring to provoke him. But soon he was sure that they were from the Rain Clan. A little saint said coldly. Speak, brat. How did our young master Qinya die? Were you the one who killed him? Sure enough, they were from the Rain Clan. Lin Xian's face was cold. You people are really reckless. You dare to provoke me? Aren't you afraid of being annihilated? Of course, we don't dare to provoke Wushuang City. But you? If you die here, no one will know. Perhaps others will think that you were killed by a powerful sea demon. Don't worry, we won't kill you immediately. We'll capture you and torture you to death. We'll make you spit out the secrets on your body. A middle-aged man said ferociously. Lin Xian glanced at him with disdain. You brat, you're about to die, yet you're still so stubborn. This time we have 2 little saints and 4 fifth heavenly layer saints. You won't be able to escape even if you have wings. I can only say that you are too idiotic. Even if you had twice as many saints, you still wouldn't be able to do anything to me. Lin Xian was not afraid in the battlefield. He glanced around looking for an opportunity. At the same time he cursed in his heart. Damn it. This Rain Clan is really crazy. They sent 2 minor saints to kill me. He swore that he would definitely exterminate the Rain Clan. He wanted to let these people know the consequences of provoking him. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Xian suddenly attacked. Golden light blossomed from his body, and a dragon roar sounded. He punched at the middle-aged man from before. The middle-aged man was scared out of his wits. He wanted to retreat, but the fist was too fast. He arrived in front of the middle-aged man in an instant. With a whoosh, the middle-aged man was smashed into pieces. Miserable cries rang out, causing everyone's scalp to go numb. Damn it, how dare you! The other sages were thoroughly enraged. They had an absolute advantage now, but the other party still dared to attack, and he even dared to be ruthless. You're courting death. Take him down. Just leave him with one last breath. A minor saint gave the order, and the 3 fifth heavenly layer sages around him quickly attacked. The seawater surged and filled the sky. They took out a decree wanting to completely seal Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He used the Kunping movement technique and his speed reached the extreme. He turned into a stream of light and dodged. At the same time, he threw out the Great Destruction Spear, sweeping it in all directions. Useless brat, although you're strong, you're just a 3rd heavenly layer sage. You're no match for us. The 3 fifth heavenly layer sages looked ferocious. No matter how strong the other party was, it was already very impressive that he could defeat a 5th heavenly layer sage. He wanted to fight 3 fifth heavenly layer sages? What a joke, unless the other party was really a young great emperor. Lin Xian snorted coldly, and a biting cold light burst out from his eyes. Blue Sea Tide. He launched a soul attack. The 5th heavenly layer sages quickly retreated and put up a defense. However, their souls were still impacted and their faces turned pale. Take him down. I want to break every inch of his bones. An old man roared. The 3 of them attacked again. The 2 minor saints stood there with their hands behind their backs, watching coldly. They did not make a move. They did not need to make a move against a 3rd heavenly layer ant. They were only here as a precaution. However, they still underestimated Lin Xian. Lin Xian activated the Void Escape and used the Spatial Divine ability. He disappeared in a flash and appeared behind one of the old men. The Great Destruction Spear carried the aura of the Dragon Soul. It pierced through the old man's head. The old man's head exploded, and his body fell to the ground. He was kicked away by Lin Xian. Arg! A miserable cry mixed with saint blood dyed the void sea red. The other two saw this scene, and their scalps went numb with fear. Soon they shouted angrily, "Kill!" The two of them joined forces. This time they completely surrounded Lin Xian. They would definitely not give the other party any chance at all. Lin Xian saw this scene, but he did not retreat. Instead, he took a deep breath and activated the unparalleled secret technique. His combat strength increased by 5 times in an instant. With a loud bang, this powerful attack was launched. It was like a black torrent, colliding with the two fifth heavenly layer saints. Then, the two fifth heavenly layer saints vomited blood and were sent flying. Their attacks were completely shattered. Not only that, there were many large cracks on their bodies. How was this possible? The two of them were dumbfounded. They could not believe it. Damn it. What the hell is going on? Why did the opponent's strength suddenly become so strong? Lin Xian was also surprised. This power was really unexpected. It was worthy of being called the unparalleled secret technique. Although it could only be used for a moment, it would not be a problem to kill these fifth heavenly layer saints if it was used well. They quickly healed and even absorbed the power of the surrounding seawater. Be careful. This kid has an eye technique and the attack power is very strange. Don't fall into his trap. It's nothing. We were just careless. Now that we are in the sea, we have an absolute natural advantage. We can display super strong combat strength. The eyes of these people exploded with a biting cold light. Their Rain clan was born for water. Kill. The 4 of them roared and attacked again. Do you think that only you know how to use water? Lin Xian snorted coldly. His expression was cold. He had the 5 elements law, which naturally included the law of water. With a wave of his arm, the surrounding seawater was all mobilized by him, turning into giant dragons. Not only that, Lin Xian also poured the power of the great dragon sword soul into these water dragons. 300 water dragons spewed out. The entire sea was boiling. The fifth heavenly layer saints were shocked. Their faces were full of fear. Damn it. How was this possible? How could his strength be so strong? They were completely crazy. What kind of person was this? I'm sending it to you, please support me? Chapter 37:20. Under the powerful attacks of Lin Xian's various divine abilities, the bodies of the 4 fifth heavenly layer saints were torn apart again. One of them was directly locked by the spring and autumn lock. His soul was shattered by Lin Xian. One of them died. They couldn't believe that the 4 of them couldn't do anything to him even though they joined forces. Then, they were terrified because another one of them was seriously injured and died. The other 2 were also covered with wounds. Their scalps were numb. Supreme Elder, please save us. They cried for help crazily. The 2 minor saints were also angry. How dare you? One of them roared and slapped out his big palm. The power of a minor saint was too terrifying. This palm was even more terrifying than the joint attack of 4 fifth heavenly layer saints. The 6th heavenly layer saint, which was the realm of minor saints, was a watershed. The strength of a minor saint was much stronger than that of a 5th heavenly layer saint. It could be said that it was an insurmountable gap. Therefore, this was also the reason why the 2 minor saints didn't want to make a move earlier. They really didn't think highly of him. But now they were angry. The opponent was so strong that it was beyond their expectations. But that was all. They didn't think that this kid could compete with them. Lin Xian didn't take the attack head-on. He turned into a stream of light and quickly retreated to avoid the attack. He had to admit that a minor saint was very powerful. Lin Xian's face was gloomy. What was he going to do? Kill the opponent? Kid, you can't run away. You're just an ant in front of me. There's no way for you to escape. The minor saint sneered. The opponent could only dodge when he met him. This was the gap between them. But where could the opponent escape to? So today the opponent would definitely die. He attacked a few more times. Each time he brought with him a monstrous law, causing Lin Xian to keep dodging. Lin Xian quickly retreated, but the minor saint had already grabbed the black earth with one hand and sealed it. Kid, your saint artifact spirit ship is mine. Not only that, all the things and secrets in your body belong to our Rain clan. The 2 little saints looked up to the sky and laughed. The other 2 Rain clan saints who were still alive also revealed hideous smiles. Great, they were going to torture the other party to death later. Lin Xian backed away again, his face grim. The little saint was still strolling toward him. Although this little saint was an old monster that had lived for thousands of years, he looked like he was in his 30s. He was very handsome and could crush everything with a wave of his hand. He struck out with several laws, forming a cage that completely sealed off Lin Shen's path of retreat. Don't run, the game is over. Now I will make you kneel down obediently. In the distance, the three saints of the Rain clan also sneered. Lin Shen's face was gloomy, but his heart was filled with killing intent. In fact, the reason he was retreating like this was to lure the enemy in and widen the gap between the two little saints. From the looks of it was about time. Alright, you choose to kneel on your own or I'll break your legs and pin you to the ground. Think about it carefully, said the young little saint. He looked high and mighty, not putting Lin Shen in his eyes at all. Lin Shen didn't dare to resist at all because he was a little saint. The opponent probably couldn't even break his defense. Lin Shen didn't say anything, but he suddenly attacked. The great dragon sword soul flew out and turned into a stream of light, flashing in the air. This scene was simply way too powerful. The 9 heavens and 10 earths seemed to have lost their luster at this moment. This was a saint's skill, and now that it was being unleashed by Lin Shen with all his might, it was even more berserk than before. He still dared to attack. He really didn't know what death was. The Rain clan's little saint's face sank. His opponent was just an ant. How dare he fight against him? Well, today he would let him know what despair was. He raised his palm again and slammed it forward, intending to shatter the beam of light. However, when the stream of light approached him, his expression changed. What was this? He was too shocked because he found that the chi of the light was incomparable. It seemed to be beyond his imagination. Damn it! The little saint's face was gloomy. He quickly retracted his palm and tried to retreat. However, he found that it was too late. The sword light was too fast. It arrived in front of him in an instant and stabbed down fiercely. Get lost! The young little saint roared and struck out with both of his palms, striking out a shocking blow. At the same time, the endless seawater combined with the law of water formed a set of true water armor, covering his body. Not good. That kid seems to have a trump card. The people in the distance also exclaimed. The other little saint snorted. It doesn't matter. So what if he has a trump card? It's just a saint weapon. With our strength, that kid can't fight against us even if he has a saint weapon. His eyes were full of confidence. The 2 fifth heaven saints breathed a sigh of relief. It would be great if that was the case. They were not afraid of anything at all. However, at this moment, a rumbling sound was suddenly heard. Endless flames soared into the sky, and terrifying sword chi roared. The place was completely submerged. What a violent aura! The 2 fifth heaven saints were shocked. Even the little saint who had spoken earlier had his expression changed. He frowned. Damn it! How could it be so powerful? Although he did not care before, his eyelids were twitching wildly when he sensed the terrifying scene in front of him. His companions should be fine, right? Ah! In front of him, a miserable voice came from the chaos, making people's scalps go numb. The little saint of the Rain clan had both of his palms shattered. Not only that, a green dragon sword had pierced through his body. That seemed to be the voice of our supreme elder. The 2 fifth heaven saints felt their scalps go numb. The old little saint's expression also changed drastically. It was impossible. Was his companion injured? In front of them, a gust of wind blew and the mist was blown away. They saw an incredible scene. One of their supreme elder's palms was shattered, and his body was pierced by sword chi. Saint Snow dyed the sea red. How was this possible? They were stunned. That was a little saint. How could he be injured by a mere 3rd heavenly layer ant? This was too heaven-defying. The young little saint's face was also full of shock. Damn it! I don't believe it. He was really shocked. He had used all his strength just now, and anyone below the little saint realm would be killed. Moreover, he had already displayed the true water battle armor. Even if his opponent had a saint weapon, he could still fight. This was the strength of a little saint. But now, the true water battle armor was penetrated in an instant. His body had also suffered serious injuries. Humph! A little saint is just SOSO. Do you think you can kill me? Lin Shen quickly flew in front of his opponent and grasped the dragon-shaped sword chi. The sword slashed on his opponent's body, causing the cracks on his body to become bigger. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.